The following program is hosted by immature, irreverent, obnoxious, and often disgusting young men. Listener discretion is advised.
This time on Nude Clan. We were born of the blood, made men by the blood, undone by the blood. Fear the old blood.
Shall we play a game?
What the fuck was that
You got several things to do. You got work, kids in school. What do you do when it's all over?
How do you hand something from one player to another?
Dark soul light. Turn on the TV, pick up the controller and play some games with the new clan.
Welcome to another episode of Nude Clan. I am Joe.
This is Cameron.
Caleb Schweiss. And today we are going to be reviewing the long-awaited review for Bloodborne, which Cameron and I played. It was a Patreon pick by our dear friend Chase versus Game, I believe. Is that correct?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. He was very
Everyone's
dedicated
telling
to
me
our
yes.
progress on that game.
If someone else had nominated the game, I am so sorry.
You need to be more
We could
memorable.
double check.
Like
but-
Chase. It's him. It's him.
Well,
Okay,
our Nude Clan Patreon account is the Patreon account that I don't have the password to and can't get into. So that's the one I don't check.
Okay. Yeah.
But, you know, thank you for all of our Patreon donors for helping us out and occasionally picking games for us. This is going to be my last game as a weekly host of Nude Clan.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to disappoint so many fucking people. We had the greatest game of all time was recently reviewed, as you know. Only Nude Clan scores count, and thus the 100 out of 100 that God of War got. You know, it's the perfect game, and I don't think we're gonna up it, Cameron. Although I'm sure a lot of listeners that love Bloodborne might be a little disappointed by that fact.
They might be, but I don't know. The type of game that God of War was, I don't know.
A perfect game?
Yeah, it was a perfect game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nude Clan scores definitely reflected that. And we all know that's the objective truth in this world.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
God of War was an experience. So was Bloodborne. Bloodborne was an experience in of itself.
Yeah. Just like ass rape, I'm sure is. I've never experienced it, but I'm sure it is an experience.
Then why'd you bring it up?
It's just the first experience I thought of.
Okay.
I don't know. Anyway, today's the Caleb and, the Joe and Cameron show. Caleb's are nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, clearly.
One Caleb is searching the internet, while the other Caleb is apparently dying on the toilet.
Yeah.
So we are here today.
I heard it was a shitty experience.
Oh.
No, you know what I heard?
No! Yeah.
Fucking glitch!
He doesn't know we have the microphone in the bathroom.
Yeah, that's why the echo was in there. It's because he's taking a shit.
We'll
And that's
save you the other sounds.
That's what happened when computer chips fell out of his anus when he was taking that dump earlier. He's like, guys, I can't come over. I just found out I'm a fucking robot.
He's a synth.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Somebody poured way too much water on him, though. That's why he's the way he is.
Glitch!
I don't get it.
It's
Is
just
he
the
like
way
the
he
wicked
is.
witch?
Oh, they said they
No,
asked
he's
if the
he's electronic. So
overdrive was turned on the mixer for the stream.
Well, I think we checked the stream last time, and it sounds right. Actually, we now have. Although Schweiss didn't mix it right, so I'm sorry about last week's sound quality. We now have a mixer, this mixer that we got 4 months ago and said thank you, and then didn't figure out how to use it until last week. It actually has a built-in compressor, and so everybody's gain is up and the compression's on. This, what you're hearing on Twitch is basically, I mean, it should be how it sounds, but there might be an audio problem. People
Yeah,
are
he said
whining
we
about
sound
it.
like robots right now.
Oh.
Do we sound like robots?
Yeah, what if we go robot voice and then we sound normal?
Well, fuck.
'Cause it cancels
See,
out.
now I have to pull it up on the phone and make sure that we sound fucking okay.
That's
Yeah.
great content.
Well, I
right
mean, you
there.
know
I
what?
know, it's going to be awesome, like dual content.
Oh, yeah. We hear it
Listening
again.
to Twitch
Showception.
on the Twitch.
We break the Twitch wall.
Hold on. Certain mod testing.
So, what we could do...
Oh, here we are. Here we are. I'm going to listen to myself.
Okay.
Listening to myself.
I was going to make a comment that that's not unusual for you, so.
That is probably why we turned the volume down before.
I turned it down just now.
Okay.
Like, I turned it down.
Are we peeking up? See how that line up there is going all the way to the top?
Yeah,
we
I
need
do.
to be down.
No, I cut it in half, but it still sounds that way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe if we talk about this level, then it should be perfectly fine. I would take it down even more than that. Then.
Yeah. Let's just take
maybe.
it down. We can just keep
Fuck!
testing
It was fine last week. It sounded like perfect last week, and now it's being
Nobody touched anything.
no one touched anything.
I haven't gotten on Twitch. I haven't touched it.
It's a goddamn curse.
Fuck
it's a
it.
goddamn curse, dude.
No.
Anyway, we sound great here, which
You sure?
means yeah,
Okay.
I am sure. I've got the volume up pretty loud, which means that in the Zoom we should be coming out fine. I remember that the audio going from the mixer to the computer sometimes has problems like readjusting volume, but
Yeah.
whatever. Turn the volume down at home then until
Yeah.
we figure this out. What do we usually do right now? Plugs. Nudeclan.net is our website. You can check that out. You can go to our forums and ask us questions, talk about fucking games, talk about Final Fantasy or Godzilla or whatever the hell you want to talk about. I am at Joseph DeGolier on Twitter.
And then Caleb's at an Obsidian Ba is what Joe was saying. Then I'm at Nude Clan Cam.
I am at UFF Podcast.
And the show is at Nude Clan Podcast, which is where you go to vote on games that we're going to play in the future. That these three guys, one of which is not here, are going to play in the future. Speaking of which, did we talk about having the people that we owe Patreon invite episodes to possibly be other reviewers?
We have floated the idea around.
Okay. If you're interested in that, I don't know if these guys will go for it. It was certainly an idea that I thought was going to be a good idea, and it's not going to be my show after this. But if you're interested in that, make sure you guys, if you're owed a Patreon invite episode, maybe give one of the Calebs a message.
Yeah.
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 Let us know.
Let us know if you're interested in doing that. You can support us on Patreon. You can also support us by clicking through our Amazon banner, and if you want to, there's also a PayPal link there as well. That's all at nudeclan.net. If you would like, you can check out our Godzilla podcast, the Godzilla podcast, the only Godzilla podcast. No, that's not true, actually. There's also Ultimate Final Fantasy, the Ultimate Final Fantasy podcast, and the Puff Puff Hour, a Dragon Quest podcast.
Yeah.
And Super Sexy Swingin' Fan Fiction,
Yep.
a fan fiction podcast where they make fun of people, and something else. I can't remember what it is.
Song of Schweiss and Jones.
Oh, yeah, that.
And
that
A Song of Schweiss and Failure.
be prepared is all I'll say for that.
Oh, really?
Oh, good
I'm
things happen.
subscribed, Schweiss.
Yep. Be ready. There will be more.
Blood.
Yeah.
There will be blood.
So, yeah, look forward to that.
Sweet. Well, shit. What has everybody been playing?
I have been playing
That's what we do.
Bloodborne.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, today I played some Overwatch, but that was just today.
Did
I
you-
played Bloodborne up to this point.
So you pretty much all this week were just Bloodborne week.
Yeah, it was a Bloodborne week.
It's like we told you beforehand that you were going to have some time in that game, and you just waited.
No, I would have had time in that game if certain things didn't happen. But yeah, what I'm really worried about is I Am Setsuna when it gets here versus how much time I'll have to sink in that.
Yeah, it's a 40-hour game.
Oh, is that in 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Yep. 2 weeks from today.
Yep.
I haven't beaten it either.
I'm looking forward to your planned episodes there, Cameron.
I have yet to need to do that. So
Yeah. Is that all you've been playing?
yeah, that's it. That's all she wrote.
Okay, well, Schweiss is tired. We're just going to go ahead and go to sleep here. There was a
Yeah.
nice episode of Nude Clan at 10 minutes and 37 seconds.
Yeah,
That's
all you
great.
get. It's a record.
Jeez.
New
Actually,
record.
it's probably about like 10 minutes and 15 seconds because
No,
we
it's more.
we cut off a few seconds at the beginning.
Oh, okay. Well, I have been playing I Am Setsuna exclusively this week. I'm trying to get the platinum.
Will you fuckers stop yawning?
And
You're going to fucking make me yawn, and then we're all just going to be like, yeah, Bloodborne was cool.
you give it a 10 out of 10 on every category.
No.
Yeah, fuck it. It was great. I just
fuck
want to take a
it.
nap. I've been playing a lot. I want to get the platinum. I've also become really obsessed with trophies lately. Like, I
Just
started
lately?
looking. Well, more so than before. So now, the only way I could beat anybody around me is in like percentages. So I'm like, okay, my average percentage. I have an average completion percentage of like 51%, right? And Jake's is like 49%. So now I'm like, hey, I've got a higher completion rate than you. I'm winning. I need to find like niche. I'm like Craig. I need to find niche ways to win, or else I'll never win. So now what I've decided to do is on psnprofiles.com. It has like a bell curve for the grading system it gives people on games they've played. So it gets the average, it has the high, it has the low, and it kind of like puts the mediums like in the middle there, as a bell curve does. And I have a bunch of games that have E grades,
Yes.
right? So they're like really low based on everyone else's completion rate, basically like the average. And they're letter graded E, which is the second worst. And now I'm going to go back and play the E's and get them up to like A or B, just to up my percentage even more. Because technically, I mean, if we're looking at it from like raw percentages, if I play a game that I've already played and I get a much higher percentage of completion on it, it'll raise my completion rate overall more than adding a new game will, and then 100%ing that new game, because I'm grabbing something that I've already tried to do in the past.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
So I borrowed
Finish your backlog.
Guitar Hero Metallica from Jake, and I'm
Oh,
going to
nice.
be playing. I'm going to be finishing that up.
What on PS3?
PS3, yeah. So
You know, I would like that game if I could have a real guitar
yeah.
doing that shit.
Well, if only they would come out with a Rocksmith pack or 10.
I remember just like
Or an updated Rocksmith.
fucking Rock Band 3 had one on it, and I know how to play one. And it's so counterintuitive the way they set shit up, guys. It's fucking impossible when you know how to play a song, and then you have to play it on the Guitar Hero like guitar thing. It just feels so fucking wrong.
Yeah.
It's just so wrong. It's not even funny. So, have fun with that. You could
He
be
doesn't know how to
playing
play the
real
guitar.
guitar.
So it won't affect
Well,
him.
he has a guitar here.
I do, and I have a guitar video game, but the trophies in that are sick, so I can't be hunting
I don't
trophies.
think they're that bad.
I can't be hunting trophies in a game that actually requires me to be really good at an
Talented.
instrument. Yeah.
Any real skill that's worth a trophy, you know?
You don't have to be talented to play that game. There's like a guitar player who can play all the notes, and play it at speed, and then there's a guitar player who can make it sound good. There is a difference. There is a difference between the two. But, I mean, you can't do one without the other, so you kind of do need to get through all that
Can't
shit.
do one without the other. Back to Metallica.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, so that's all I've been playing this week.
It's a different energy here without Craig, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's
just better.
Also later. no, it's later in the
Yeah,
day.
we've all had... No, I had a work day today. What did you guys do?
Played golf for 6 hours and watched a movie and ate
Nice.
popcorn.
Did chores, watched a dog, played Overwatch.
You washed a dog or
Watched.
watched?
Watched. Yeah.
You gave it a watch.
Yes. No,
Okay.
I watched it. Yeah.
Did you hog it or?
No. So we weren't allowed to take it out for a walk because it was in training phase.
so they didn't want to do anything to disrupt its training. But my cat sat outside of its cage and booped it every now and then.
Nice. Is that part of the training too?
Yeah, torture by feline.
Yeah. I'm gonna make you hate every other cat in the
Whose
world.
dog?
It was just a coworker's dog. He had to go to a wedding in Draper, and they had to pick up the dog from the training school he was at. So
Okay,
yeah,
got it. Thank you.
With this, they had to go to a wedding, so they had to get their
Brought
dog
the
trained
dog.
at a different time. Oh,
No,
they
so
brought the dog?
No. So they had the dog at the trainers for like a week, and today was the day they had needed to go pick it up. So they went up to Salt Lake City, picked up the dog, came down to Draper, dropped the dog off to go to the wedding
Oh. Why didn't they just take their dog home?
because they live in Vineyard.
Well, maybe they should have left earlier.
Because it would have been Salt Lake City, back to Vineyard,
God,
back
all the
to
people
Draper.
that don't live in Utah just
So
love this
it's
conversation.
Salt Lake City is
Loving
north, then comes south to Draper, to then go even further south to Vineyard, to then come back north to Draper. So there's back and forth in there that they skipped by being able to drop the dog off at our place.
Let's see. So did you get paid for this?
No,
Oh, well then.
all he did was sit in the cage and whimper every now
Well,
and then.
they should have learned.
Cameron's a people pleaser.
The only way they can learn to be better and take the drive instead is to pay
It was
you.
actually my roommate who gave approval for it.
Oh.
Yeah, because we're coworkers too. So
Shut the fuck up, cat. Oh my God, it sounded like he was over there. He's
just
right below me.
just gotta yell
That's
at the
why he's so
cat.
fucking loud.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I played nothing this week. We did not. We were casting a movie on Monday, so we did not get time to play Crystal Chronicles.
Yeah.
So UFF is going to come out a day late, and we're going to try to beat Crystal Chronicles tomorrow morning.
Yeah, that's going to
See
be
what
fun.
happens. Hopefully it happens, because game's already running long.
And you want to do it Monday?
Yeah, I record the UFF episode Monday morning.
All right. I can do it.
I can't talk about that game for more than an hour and a half. It's not going to be like a fucking three-parter.
You don't know that.
Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, where we get real deep into the story
Yeah, and the music.
and the game. Oh, the complex gameplay that is.
Yeah.
No, there's nothing to fucking talk about in that game.
Yeah, it's we say that, and then this is supposed to be the best one in the series of Crystal Chronicle games. So
Well, the other ones we could spend more time bitching. Then
yeah, maybe
I got plenty to bitch about in this one, though.
yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, we know what everybody has been playing, but knowing that I didn't write down Caleb Craig's games last week, did anybody beat a game?
Yes.
What game did you beat,
I do
Cameron?
Bloodborne.
Bloodborne. Oh, nice. Good job.
Yeah. That's the thing I've been wanting to do.
Schweiss, you beat anything?
No, nothing.
Neither did I. So Schweiss and Caleb Craig, according to the list, are still tied. 12 games beaten.
And you know what the sad thing is? If we asked him what he beat last week, this week, he probably wouldn't know. Probably would have already
It's like,
forgotten.
well, you're just going to have to listen to the episode. I don't know, dude.
Or they just don't count.
So they're at 12 games being. I'm at 10. And Cameron is at 8, being the loser.
Yeah.
Yep.
You gonna catch up? I mean, Joe's not gonna be on one of the shows soon, so
Yeah. I mean, let's see how I Am Setsuna goes, and then
yeah.
I'll work on it.
All right.
Okay. Setsuna. Gotcha. So anyway, that's the hog. Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Let's get some. Let's get a question out here. What do we got? What do you got prepped for today?
All right. So since Craig isn't here, to ask,
We had to go through his list, which he didn't do checks by.
And the
we had
mic
to,
is
and we
King
had
Hog.
to check it twice, or a few more than twice.
a few more than twice.
Well, you said we had to go through the list, and I said I had to check it twice. But I had to check it a few more than twice because there's a lot more than two
Cameron,
check
you're
marks
trying
on
to
here.
make jokes today. And none of them are fucking landing. It's just not fucking
It's
working.
like those. It's like those old World War II footages of like the kamikaze pilots, but the ones that missed and went in the water instead. That's what's happening today. The ones that didn't quite hit the ships and just landed in the water.
Yeah, but at least I get to live for a while.
That's true. Yeah, they're probably dead.
All right, so on to our question. So it's the zombie apocalypse. What is your plan as a group? Then when your plans running. Who dies?
Repeat it one more time, Cameron.
And in what order?
Okay.
What is our plan?
Yeah, so what is our plan as a group?
So
I can't say fuck y'all. And
So
head
the
into
nude,
the hills.
the zombie apocalypse starts in the middle of a Nude Clan episode, and we're prepared for.
Oh shit! I think your one of your neighbors has a bunch of food storage. You got to figure out which one that is and get into their garage.
No. You find out which one it is. Make sure that their door can't lock. And just let the zombies take care of them, and then come and clear them out and grab their food.
That's a long plan.
No, seriously though, if it's during an episode
seriously,
of
though,
Nude
zombies
Clan
are
down here in
bullshit.
Provo,
Seriously though,
would we just go in the mountain somewhere?
Probably.
Yeah,
I get that would make the most sense.
I don't know though.
out away from a civilization
My
center.
assumption is that you wouldn't have very much they wouldn't be
There's-
smelling you or
There's
whatever.
clean springs up in the mountains we can go. We have water filters for a while too, and most of us know basic woodland survival stuff.
I would go up probably like Provo Canyon. Just go really far up one of those trails and grab my camping gear, grab all my ammo for my guns. Hope the 22 is actually capable of killing a zombie.
No,
Because if that's the case, I can kill 500
it's good for
zombies.
killing small game though, for hunting food.
If you shoot it in the eye,
I assume zombies
might
aren't
be able
very
to.
good hikers.
No, so just chill at the top of Kings Peak.
Nope. You're not going to have very much source for food up there, except for sheep, maybe.
No, there's tons of sheep. Yeah, what are you talking about? We
Yeah.
just become sheep herders.
Would there be zombie sheep though?
No,
Well, that'd be
no.
insane.
It's a human affliction.
that'd be horrifying.
And
oh my
and
god!
down near the base of Kings Peak, there's a lot of wildlife there.
Um,
It's just gonna get really cold in the winter. That's all it's gonna
I
do.
would go up like Hobble Creek, somewhere where we know a little bit better.
Okay, that
Up
makes more
through
sense.
Diamond Fork.
Yeah.
There's
and
there's
then there's the-
fish
there-
in
the-
those water. There's
And there's
deer.
hot springs to chill in.
There's some hot springs to lose your virginity in.
yeah, of course.
Uh,
What about your zombinity? So we get kind of lonely and just tie one up.
I was thinking fuck a zombie,
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
this is what he's
Oh.
saying. Yeah, just
Or-
but tie
Oh my
one
God.
up. I've never heard that.
tie. Well, you'd have to tie the zombie up for it
Oh,
to not.
tie
God.
this up.
Oh, dude,
That was a. I
can
was,
you?
I
You
was
know,
thinking that was
it's
a
like
weird
it's like
phrase.
that's like rape necrophilia.
you just go up and tie one off. What?
dude, no. You knock one's teeth out and you let it gum you to pleasure. You imagine that? It's trying to bite your dick off, but instead it can't because it doesn't
I'm
have
not
any
on
teeth.
this show.
No.
Oh
no,
man,
no.
that'd be awesome. You're like, dude, a zombie gummer is amazing. Yeah,
I'm not gonna.
I would. You know what? The jaw would probably still hurt, though. I bet. I don't know though.
If they're still biting,
Well, that's why you knock all their teeth out. You get like a hammer and you just like.
there's still pressure. Like,
But how much? I mean, it's because. Yeah, you can shut your dick in the fridge, but it doesn't hurt. There's still pressure there.
I've never shut my dick in the fridge. I assume it would hurt.
Yeah, it's not bad.
I'm assuming that it would hurt, but maybe I'm wrong.
No, it's
Should
not.
I try it?
Yeah, it's fine.
Cut to back when I'm living here. I'm just in my closet. I just see the fridge light and it's gone. Fridge light and it's gone. I'm like, what the fuck you doing, man?
What's going on out there? Don't you worry.
And this little chunk as the condiments on the fridge door just jingle around every time he slams it on his dick.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
why?
I don't know, but yeah, zombie that'd be good. Yeah, I'd probably just.
All right, so find food, which there's plenty of food stored around here. Take it up in the
Eat
mountains.
Yeah.
So who dies first, and in what order?
If it's all four of us, probably.
So by this question, it says we all die because it's who dies first and in what order. So all of us die.
Well, I mean, it all depends on if we go up there and live a long life, or if we
Yeah, if we die of natural causes, I mean, no one really knows who would die first if we suddenly could
Yeah,
sleep
no one
all
would
day.
know.
My
but we
assumption
would know.
safely would be Craig.
Yeah, either
And then
from
it's a
heart
toss-up
attack.
between me and Cameron on who's going to get the next heart attack. I think
What I think
if
it would
Schweiss
be,
has alcohol, he's going to get liver shit. But
what I think would
that'll
happen
run
if
out eventually.
Schweiss and I last ones left, we'd kill each other in a recreation of Rust.
Yeah, with the rock.
Running around naked in the woods with rocks.
Nice
and trying
penis.
Thank you.
to look a bunch of nakeds over here.
Yeah. You know, somebody at work actually was talking to me about that game, and it's like way different now.
Oh yeah, way
They have
different.
like chick characters.
Yes, they do.
And
Are they
like-
naked?
Yeah,
yes,
they are.
Yes,
yeah.
they are.
Oh, I suddenly
They-
want to play this game.
The guy said like he was playing it, and like he had these two teammates, and it randomly chooses the gender of your person. And they were like both chicks, and they didn't have pants on, and he was like worried that his wife was gonna come over and be like, excuse me, what's this? So he like crafted him some pants to throw on to cover up their dirty vaginas.
Cover your nakedness.
Yeah, but I don't know. Yeah, it's if we all live, then yeah, it'll probably be genetic disorders that kill us.
But if not, I guess who can run? I assume Schweiss can run the most at this point.
At this point,
Yeah.
back when I was in shape, I'd put him in the dust.
Well, yeah, but I mean, when I
Now-
was in shape,
When
now-
I was in shape,
Now, Cameron, I'm kind of in shape.
I could probably still run you.
you think?
Yeah,
I
not
can,
you.
I
him.
can run a long time now, though.
Yeah, that's easy.
Yeah. Okay. All
Cross
right.
country versus like.
I wasn't
sprint.
able to do it before. This is a nice new going through FedEx keeps you in shape.
Yeah,
So
You gonna get all fat when you go out to the place that you're going to that we can't talk about yet.
I don't plan on it. I plan on staying on the diet I was on while I had to take care of the house for a month. Which was like in the morning I ate 2 eggs, 2 slices of bacon, half an avocado.
2 eggs.
2 eggs, 2 slices of bacon, half an avocado.
wow.
And then at lunch I had 2 slices of bacon, a big slice of tomato, a couple pieces of lettuce, and the other half of the avocado. Wow. And then for dinner, I had salad, like a big thing of salad, and like a chicken breast or a piece of beef or something. Wow.
You know what I usually have when I'm on diet? 6 eggs in the morning. Cheese galore.
I don't think you're going to lose any weight on that diet.
4 things of bacon. And then coffee, and then I have 2 big ass hot dogs for lunch, and then I
So
usually don't eat
the
dinner.
current diet I'm on, I don't eat anything.
That's the all breakfast plus hot dog diet.
The current diet I'm on, I don't eat anything until 10 o'clock a.m. Then I'll usually just have like a protein bar, and I'll have coffee before then. If
We
it has
are
0
all
calorie.
overweight, though, so people shouldn't
Yeah,
take
no.
our advice.
Yeah.
Is that right? Okay.
Okay, and no, this is a new development. So coffee, and then I don't eat until 10 o'clock, and then, blah, blah, whatever. Then lunch, I basically just have to make sure it's a normal meal. I don't really say can't eat a certain thing. I just make it a normal meal, no overboard. And then dinner, I just have a protein shake mix and all the broccoli I can eat. And then I can't eat after 6.
So do you go to like...
You're going to do that intermittent thing?
Yeah.
I'm thinking about doing that too, but it'd be like
Pairing-
2 p.m.
pair-
to 10 p.m.
Yeah.
I don't think I could like
Yeah, so I'm doing the intermittent thing.
not
and,
eat before bed. That just seems like hell.
And usually by the time I get to dinner, I just drink the 2 scoops of protein shake mix. And I usually am pretty good. I have to make sure I get my fiber in. I found out.
No, yeah, that's why you need a salad a day, man.
Craig didn't find that out in
No,
time,
I
though.
just eat broccoli.
yeah, broccoli will work. A salad a day keeps the constipation away, though.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
yeah.
The funfetti experience.
You know, I think Craig's Crisco diet is what he's doing now.
Funfetti without salad or funfetti with salad?
The first couple nights where I didn't pair the protein shake mix with the broccoli was a funfetti experience.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did it when it came out? Was it like like some little party horn thing?
No, there was a bang, but and it was not a celebration, but
That's good.
Anyway.
All right, do we want to do another question, or are we good on questions?
We can do another one.
Yeah,
Oh,
fuck it.
right.
It's going to be short because there's
Give
no
me
Craig.
your precious pen.
It's also going to be about
He's
half
not here
the-
to be like, dude, you didn't play the game. I know it because I didn't see anything.
I'm blind in one eye. You didn't beat it.
I watched 5 seconds of a stream and saw you go straight to the bus, you fucking moron.
No, dude, no.
No, dude, that's not how it's played. I know because other people told me.
Yeah.
And I misunderstood them like I always do. This is shit on the Craig. This is a good opportunity to have him not fight back.
Well, the thing is he's not going to listen to the episode, so he'll never fight back.
Oh, man. Okay, next
Probably all
question.
just verbally abusing me while I'm not there.
Question for the @NudeClan podcast. Would you go gay for Khal Drogo? Lycan of Light.
No.
No, I'm not gay, dude.
Who should we bring up the
I feel-
the prison debate again?
No, you know what? I feel like
Because I
here-
won that debate. So
How about this? How about this? It's not would you go gay for Khal Drogo. It's would you have a 3-way with Khal Drogo and a chick.
It's not gay if it's a 3-way.
But
You don't have to jerk him
do
off.
your dicks touch ever?
Not intentionally, no. There may be a chance.
I would laugh a lot, and then I'd probably go flaccid and freak out and then back up just because the adrenaline would be going.
And then as you backed up, he would just be like, no.
no, and then he takes off the rest.
You
of your,
know,
And you let him do it. You're
he's
just
like, I wanted to keep my shirt on, but fine.
yeah.
I've had both of you ask me some interesting questions before, and Schweiss just did it the other day.
Oh, yeah. Because
Yeah.
Cameron, the other day when he was all weird about how many kills he had on that After Dark, he was like, there's one that I'm not proud of. And I was thinking of it at work, and I was like, what would he not be proud of? Like, I'm like, I don't know, like our siblings, like our, you know, like our exes or something like that. And then I was like, oh, no. Is that what it is? And then I was
So
like,
it was
Cameron,
racking your
and then
brain for
and then I
hours?
was like, I mean, it doesn't
Yeah.
bother me. And I was just like, Cameron, are we like
I think that
Eskimo
would bother
brothers?
me. I would be pretty fucking pissed.
Yeah. And then Cameron's like, yeah, you know, I got to her first, right?
And we went
She-
to the same junior high?
Yeah.
Junior high.
She lied about the her being a virgin, but she really lied about that. But yeah, no, that's what I thought for like about an hour one day.
Yeah,
I was
he's like, are we Eskimo Brothers? I'm like, what the fuck is Eskimo Brothers first?
Yeah.
And then after I found that, I'm like, God, no, never.
And then he was like, but I mean, if it was anyone, it'd probably be with you. And I was like, okay, yeah, I figured. But I mean, the other options are.
Oh, thanks.
I
Appreciate
mean, yeah,
that.
well, you'd be a second place. And then there'd be a third place, you know, that's empty. And then, you know, the 97th place would be Craig.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, I thought that's what it was because he was all like, I'm not proud of it. And then he just dropped it. And I was like, okay. And I had 3 scenarios, and one of them kind
I
of was.
like how he had just to deliberate on this.
I was at work and I got really bored, and I was like, I wonder what Cameron meant by that.
That's why you gotta listen to Book on Tapes all day, man. On tapes. Bring the cassette player with the batteries.
I keep forgetting my headphones, so I just had nothing for 12-hour days.
That's that's like not a thing you should
That's
do.
a deep mistake.
So I'm just over there singing on my machine, you know.
Hi ho.
Yeah, off to work we go. I thought about so there for a long time, like the guys in the area, they make like animal noises at each other, basically, and it's really weird.
The fuck?
Yeah,
Is this part of the
Like,
gay question?
No.
yeah.
And then, like, I told him the next time the one supervisor asks me to work 12 hours, I'm just going to turn around and be like, it's like, like, what do you guys think he's going to do to that? Just fucking turn around and start barking at him until he goes away.
Is he one who does the animal noises too?
No, the
Damn
supervisor
it.
doesn't, but all of the people that he's over do.
What the fuck is going on over there?
I'm telling you, man, the people that work at the post office are animals.
The more and more I hear, it's just like a little bit of a cult. You got a union going on. You got people in the background making animal noises, and
Yeah.
people
it is,
going postal.
Yeah, yeah.
Putting Heim on a sticker, apparently.
Yeah.
What the fuck was that?
That was
How long did you laugh after you found it?
I laughed pretty hard. It was pretty great because it was supposed to be Anaheim, but the Anna part was ripped off, so it just said I'm on it. And I was like, oh man, no way.
Is there a Nude Claim listener here somewhere?
I'm like,
I was like, who listens?
looks like someone tore a Heim at work.
Yeah, ripped that Heim right up.
Jesus Christ.
Why not, man? Why not? It's a good place to do it.
Oh no,
Just-
no, it's not. It's the post office.
I don't know, man. That letter ledge really shakes stuff up. You can probably get some extra friction going on there, and it's just like, you know, you don't even have to pout. You just sit on
late
it.
nights at the post office with Schweiss and
Yeah.
gang.
Late night post office.
You walk in, you just hear the animal noises in the back. You're like, oh god.
Yeah,
Anyway.
yeah. No more.
Would you
questions.
go gay for Khal Drogo?
Oh yeah. No. I think the question would be better if it was, would you do a 3-way with Khal Drogo?
Okay.
In which case, maybe.
With
I don't
who, is it with Amelia Clark?
What is that with if it's with Khaleesi?
The answer is yes. Immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cameron? I'm
Just
just
see
not.
you guys. The
It doesn't matter how buff he is.
The question
I'm not
is,
gay.
The question is, would you go gay for Khal Drogo? Not would you do a 3-way with Khal Drogo, which is a totally different thing.
And it has to be Amelia Clark.
Damn.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be the guy that doesn't look right in that situation.
Yeah, everyone else is fit and like
Fit and beautiful.
tight bodies.
Tight
and then you're just
body.
like a fat guy. We doing this? And some fat
Is it
mouth.
my turn yet?
Incredibly thick, dark eyebrows.
Yeah.
I'll have the opposite.
Yeah. Almost non-existent.
Is it my turn? Can I?
It's
No,
my-
no.
Please.
You're going for again? Okay.
Get a hand at least.
The answer for me is no.
No?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't. No.
It's why would we go gay for someone?
I
Oh,
know.
wait. Gay or 3-way, Cameron?
No, both.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I mean, what about like retarded version
Stick
of
to your
Khal
principle.
Drogo? What about like you kind of fuck next to him and he doesn't know you're there? No. Pre-pillow retardo Khal Drogo. 3-way. Or just go gay for him. Be like, I can play him in the ass right now. No one would know. So I mean, would I
he's
be
not
gay?
retarded. He's like comatose.
All right, that's true. Yeah, he is more comatose. He's still breathing and everything. He's just he's brain damaged to the point where he can't do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I said retardo.
I mean, that's not really a 3-way. That's just like
You
it's
fucking
like a
next-
dude watching.
Yeah, you look over and his eyes are like angled down at you, and you're like, man, that is weird.
Watcher on the wall.
Yeah, there's nothing in there, but he's looking. He knows.
Oh man.
All right. Well,
Thanks for that question.
that sounds good question.
Thanks for taking a simple yes/no question down a dark road.
I would
Yeah.
I would not personally go gay.
Yeah. Honestly, wouldn't you think we would probably more likely go gay for like a more feminine dude?
I don't know
'Cause we all
about
like,
we.
Well, we all like women.
Schweiss, why
I can
why
only
are you
answer
bringing
for
this up?
myself.
And then
Well, it's because it's the idea that because he's a ripped dude, he's like awesome. Like, why would we go for?
I
Someone
would like to
go
have his
gay for
body.
someone
That's
like that?
different than like I would like to conquer his body. There's
Yeah, I would like to take his flesh and wear it. Sure.
I'd fuck me at that point.
Yeah, and then maybe I would. Yeah, but it would be my flesh now.
I'd fuck me.
I'd fuck me. Oh man! And then Schweiss bringing up he has to keep bringing it up. The would you go gay? But this, and then it makes me think of the argument we had last week about the androgynous male characters in Japanese video games, where they're like, "Oh, that's actually a guy."
I wouldn't call that a conversation.
Yeah, no
I
one
would
else
just
is
call
talking.
it Caleb talking.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I think he has
Not to
something
correct
tell
you.
us.
No,
Do you have
it's-
something to tell us?
No,
It's a safe space, man.
no, it isn't.
Space. We
Isn't
would.
safe here. Safer without Craig, but still,
I thought it was for Craig.
there's tension. Well, when Craig's here, it's safe for him because he's not alerted to dangers. which is why he went through a windshield that one time. But yeah, no, definitely not. Anyway, let's do a Bloodborne trailer here, and then dive right in. Unless you guys got anything else to say.
Oh no.
No.
Okay.
Sony Computer Entertainment presents Japan Studio from software.
Your blood's gonna beg. I knew it was. The devil came. Made you bad for good. So death is coming. Purge this town. I know your name. And I'm gonna cut you down. You can all run if you want to. You can all hide if you need, but I'm gonna cut you down.
That's a pretty great trailer, actually.
Oh, that trailer.
Long ago, Old Yharnam was overrun by the plague.
Stop it.
Yeah, fuck that.
That was a James Bond-esque trailer with the gun holding up and then the smoke coming out and the.
Did you watch a different trailer than me just
No,
barely?
that is an
I would
awesome
say it's
trailer.
more like a Western.
You thought
kinda
that was an
trailer.
awesome trailer?
Yeah, I love that
I
trailer.
thought it was just like normal gameplay and a song underneath it.
I thought it was awesome.
I thought it was pretty fucking cool, man. I love that trailer.
Okay, I thought you were starting off sarcastic. I'm not kidding either.
No.
I didn't think it was that great of a trailer, but
I did. It was great. Didn't tell you what the game was going to be about. It just gave you shots of the gameplay and the cool things you could do. And, of course, someone who's much better at the game than me playing it.
Maybe. I saw some missing in there. So it's probably embarrassing for them to be like,
I
well,
didn't
even the
see
guy we got
him
to do the trailer can't
get-
hate all the time.
1, 2, 3 shot.
well, Cameron, you said that there was a story in this game.
Yeah, there's a story.
I want you to tell me honestly if you actually experienced any of the things that you read on Wikipedia.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I didn't, piece them together like Wikipedia had it.
Wikipedia is a big copy paste.
So we're doing the story first.
That is the first section of this review. This blood. Actually, I guess it's development first.
Yes, that's what I thought.
All right. Well, I fucking went away from where I was.
And then
at.
for story, I'm not going to read it off of Wikipedia. I'm going to do it how I remember the story.
As in opening cutscene that didn't make any sense and a closing cutscene that didn't make any sense.
By themselves, out of context.
Out of context.
They do not complete the story for you now.
Well, what I know about Bloodborne, which I fucking
Well, we'll get
fuck
to
it.
it.
Fuck it.
Do the
Cameron,
development.
this is my development. It's from Software, which
Damn it.
I was told this is an Armored Core company.
It is, yeah.
It's an Armored Core related company, so therefore really bullshit gameplay and then shitty stories. And that makes much sense. It's like whoever made the game, it's like a follow-up to Dark Souls without being a follow-up to Dark Souls, like copyright separated or whatever. I don't know.
Yep. They made all the Armored Core games.
So
and
it's an action role-playing game from Software and published by Sony.
It's from Software.
From Software is the name.
From Software.
From Software.
Fucking fuck these guys. I hate them.
from. You know what? It's not as bad as. It's not, honestly, can it be as bad as the guys who made fucking Alone in the Dark? What was theirs? It was. The name of that studio is like.
I'm just going to
fucking-
stare at you and just make.
It's terrible.
uncomfortable.
You know what? Fuck it. Just keep going. I'll find it.
Okay, and it was released worldwide in March 2015. Inspired through Gothic Victorian era architecture.
Shit.
Whose inhabitants? So you go to the city of Yarnum, whose inhabitants have been afflicted with an abnormal blood-borne disease, hence the name Bloodborne. With the player character unraveling the city's intriguing mysteries while fighting beasts, ultimately attempting to find the source of the plague to stop it. Producer, doesn't matter.
Producer doesn't matter.
Oh, it's the publisher of that game. It's fucking Infogrames.
Infogrames.
They accidentally typed a fucking R in there, and they're like, "Shit,
Dude, I've
We
played
already
games
filed.
from Infogrames.
They
Those
would-
Rainbow Six games, I think, were Infogrames.
Oh my god!
The original PC ones.
I think they accidentally filed the LLC online, and they typoed an R in there.
It could have been the Carnivores games. If any of those 20 people who played those games are out there listening, you're a carnivore brother.
Yeah. Sorry to cut you off, Karen, but I was thinking of
Tell us
really-
about this beautiful story they're trying to weave with this game.
Okay, see, the thing you need to know about the story and about the game itself is if you're not interested in the game and if you're not interested in finding out what's happening, you won't know. You just won't know. You have to actually be interested in finding out.
See, actually, what you told me earlier today was that you have to play the game.
Yes,
That's
and
what you
there
told
are
me.
bits
Joe
and
hates
pieces.
But
that.
actually, I played the game. I didn't read item descriptions.
I've told that to Joe in the past, and he's gotten very triggered by that statement.
I mean, if Joe just doesn't like that type of game, they'll hold it against him.
You just need to play the game.
Well, if someone says that Destiny doesn't have a story, or they whine about Destiny not having a story, and the fact that you have to go online in order to read,
That's different
data.
because you physically have to go online and
I
find
would
the
say
data.
it is technically different,
Whereas
but
if you
not
play
spiritually
a
that
mystery,
different at all.
if you play a game that has mystery at its core and you have to go solve the problem, then the game gives you the mechanics to do it. Then it gives it to you. If you don't want to go look up why things are, then you don't.
So there's a
find out.
Bloodborne. Here's what actually is the story of the game. You wake up, some old man says some shit. You
responds to
you
a
walk
question you ask him.
around. You walk around. People go, nah. And then there's some scary creatures. And then at the end of the game, you decide whether or not you're going to die. And
So-
that's the end of the game.
The story of Bloodborne
That's
is
the story of Bloodborne.
you come to Yarnum looking for what's called pale blood, and the guy at the beginning, he talks to you about pale
And
blood.
what item
Well,
was that
you've come-
description in?
No, it wasn't. That's he goes, pale blood, you've come to the right place. And then he gives you a blood transfusion and you pass out.
I mean,
and
that
have
could have
an
been a
acid drink.
name. Like my name could have been
No,
Pale
but see,
Blood.
you just have to play. You have to want to know what it is.
You understand his inflection here. Is he answering a question that I previously asked, not
so
in
you,
the cutscene?
You wake up in the clinic,
Really what it is?
and then you move out into the city of Yarnum, and you.
Which is the city you will know like the back of your goddamn fucking hand, because you do it about 300 times.
I mean, you only know the main areas, not the whole city of Yarnum.
I know a lot of it. I don't know any place that I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what I don't
Period.
know.
Yes. I need that on a wall. Put that on a plaque with an
No, but
image
like,
of the sun setting.
Him to the first boss.
I don't know what I don't know, and I live by those words.
God damn it, that's right.
W. When I was golfing today, I was making that joke because my pitching wedge just has a W on it. And it just, I was like, I'm gonna go grab W from the bag. Yeah, that's gonna be a good shot there.
Yeah. I mean, only if life, force fed you the story that you're trying to figure out.
Force fed?
Yeah. If only life did that for you.
Cameron, you have to be honest with me. Before you read that Wikipedia page, without anybody telling you what the fuck happened, what did you garner was the story in this game?
Okay, so I'll go based off of what I knew when I played it over. So when I played the game, from what I could gather,
Okay.
I will tell you what I kind of figured out.
I'm ready to say that statement one more time in a different way, and then you could go into it.
So I wake up in the clinic.
Okay.
And at first, I didn't know what's going on. Just werewolf looking like monsters. I know that you use blood. And
Don't
whatever.
attack them, by the way.
You can attack them,
Don't
and
do it.
if you make it to the first lantern without dying, that's fine. But anyways, they kind of make the game designed so you die.
Everybody go silent.
And then as I really didn't know what was going on until basically until I beat Vicar Amelia. That's when I started to get kind of a story going on. That's the third required boss. I had beaten I had fought one of the optional bosses. I beat that optional boss afterwards. So
what does Vicar do? Which
It's
is that
what
the guy in the
afterwards.
Grave?
So it's afterwards. So no, it's the deer
You mean the wolf?
the deer wolf that you kill.
The thing that looks 99% like a wolf, 1% like a deer.
It's
But
not-
Cameron wants to describe it
It's
like
that-
it looks like a deer.
That 1%'s what's most important.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then afterwards, there's a relic on the altar that you go up to and touch, and then you get a flashback to two people talking. One of them is Willem, I'm pretty sure his name is, and he's the one who goes,
Green Goblin.
"You're leaving me." He's, you're betraying me. He's, "No, I'm not betraying you. I'm leaving you." And then he's like, "Well, remember that we're made men by the blood. We're undone by the blood." That whole statement, and it's all about blood in this game and what blood is and the power that blood can bestow
And
on
things
you.
that are born.
That's not
And
that's
in
not a
blood.
story explanation
And-
at all. I want you to
and-
know that. That's just like,
If you start-
thematically, there's a shitload of blood
if
in
you
this
start
game.
doing some optional
I get it.
bosses and you
most of it's fine.
And if
blood
you start-
echoes.
if
There's blood when you attack a guy. Holy shit!
if you start doing optional bosses, you learn about the Chalice dungeons and,
Whoa,
and
whoa,
the
whoa.
Tumerians who live below or who lived below Yarnum.
See, that's a lore thing. That's not a story
No, I found
thing.
that out through my playthrough because I beat an optional boss and I got a Chalice to do a Chalice dungeon. So that's what I picked up, Joe. Not because you didn't pick it up. Anyways, as you're playing, who is the next boss you fight? Because really, you can pick up bits of story here and there.
Yeah, when you walk
by
in
reading
on them, they'll
stuff.
say some one random sentence, and then you go,
Or there's a note on the ground somewhere. You can there was this one note in Old Yarnum that said,
"Yeah, you can get the whole
how
story
far,
of 13
how far
through
we've
the
gone.
data
Are we
logs."
going to all burn it to cinders? Meaning they burned Old Yarnum, and to try to stop the people from turning into monsters by killing them all. But
Do you want to know why 2001: A Space Odyssey works as a movie?
I don't care. We're not talking about it.
Cameron, do you want to know why? Because there's other things. There's a whole ton of shit in that movie that doesn't make sense. But you still walk away from that movie going, wow, that was good. It's because the middle section of that movie is a story with a character character trying to do something. Something's getting in his way. And there's an arc to it. It's right in the middle of the movie. And it's the thing that anchors it. It's the thing that anchors it into being a story and not just a bunch of random thoughts and shit and lore, which lore is not story. Like, ooh, there's underground people here because if you do a quest, you find out about it. That's not a story. That's still just like it's still like little
It's world
pieces of the
building.
world. It's like world building. That's not a story.
You build the story. That's
Oh,
it.
This
Jesus
is more like
Christ.
the story.
Build a story workshop.
It's like 2001.
Build a story workshop is I want to do this in order to do this or in order to have this happen, and this is standing in my way. That's a story.
Okay, and then by the time you get to Rom, the vacuous spider,
Which may be there, but if it's in fucking notes and item descriptions. But go ahead.
we know is when you get to him and you kill the spider was holding back the blood ritual, what was happening for it. He was preventing you from being able to perceive what was happening. So once you kill the spider, you are now able to get into the unseen village, and through the unseen village you fight the One Reborn, who is a monstrosity created, and then you get into the School of Mensis, which was part of the Blood Church. that has separated from Blood Church and might have a big part of to why everything's happening anyway. You fight Mikulash, who is probably the head of the School of Mensis, and no, actually, you kill Mikulash. That gets you access to
all these stories that you just learn to love. All these characters
you
just
kill Mikulash,
fucking fall in love with, like Mikulash.
And
don't you know Mikulash? The classic character Mikulash?
He's the guy who ran around with the cage on his head.
Honestly, can't fucking remember that guy. I remember wolf person at the gravesite, old guy that's weird.
Mikulash is the guy with the cage on his head who would send Cthulhu's hand out at you to tentacles.
Oh, yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah, that's
fuck
Mikulash.
That guy. Okay, yeah, I remember Mikulash.
And then afterwards, you find out that
I was stuck on Mikulash for a long time.
That the Great Ones are making this blood ritual kind of happen, and through this process, you also find out that Gehrman was the first hunter, and he's trapped in the hunter's dream. And you now have to go fight the Great Ones to stop the ritual. So you fight Murgo, the wet nurse, and Murgo is a infant Great One that they're using for the blood ritual, whatever they're doing. And then the idea is if it goes through, everyone gets turned into a beast. But I don't know really what the outcome of that would be. Anyways,
and you gleaned all this without Wikipedia.
Most part.
Well, you can't unknow.
You can't unknow what you know.
Yeah. That's another one for a plaque.
And then through this process, you have to do some exploring or else you'll never find out about it. But you find Great One umbilical cords. And it's the argument of using blood to reach your next stage of evolution to become higher, or using insight to become higher. And
you're just doing this game
eyes,
to get high.
Yeah, and then using
to evolve?
Extra insight to become ascended, basically, is the term. Anyways, if you find all three pieces of the umbilical cord that various characters throughout the game have, and various characters throughout the game have used to gain as much knowledge as they have. Mikulash used one. Gehrman had one. There, if you find the workshop in Yharnam and not in the Hunter's Dream, there's an umbilical cord there because he used it himself. But once you put all three of those together, you have the insight to basically really beat the game and have the true ending.
Oh yeah, and that ending, it opened up the world of the game and explained everything, right?
Really, it's just two hard boss fights right after another.
And then it just randomly ends and you restart?
No, it doesn't randomly end. You become a Great One yourself.
Oh.
Sorry, spoilers.
Spoilers!
We usually put spoiler warnings, or people know not to listen
My
to these
ending was
episodes.
I let him fucking kill me because I didn't want to deal with another boss.
The three different types of endings are you let him kill you,
three
you wake
different
up.
Real endings to this game.
If you're taking it to where you see credits and it's Joe Core, correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
Agree, yep.
So
the Bloodborne wiki, which is made by Bloodborne fans, called them three endings.
Yes.
And then true in quotes.
Well, the true ending
the
true ending is a gold trophy. So yeah. Anyways, so the first ending is you let him kill you and you wake up in Yharnam just like it was a dream. And it'll fade like a dream fades. Second ending is you kill Gehrman, who is a motherfucker, and the moon entity comes down and makes you the new owner of the dream. You take Gehrman's role in guiding hunters. Or the third ending,
owner's world. You take his job in telling people cryptic things.
Yes.
Walking away for the rest of the game and then showing up at the end.
He's still there in the game. You can go talk to him.
Yeah, that's true. He is sitting there.
He's not going anywhere.
No, he's
stuck.
not.
He's
not
stuck in the dream.
Because that's what this whole story is people not going anywhere.
So the moon entity
sitting there waiting for you to fight him.
So the moon entity comes down and embraces you and makes it so you can't leave the dream and you guide hunters.
You want the moon, Barry?
If you throw a lasso around it and pull it down here, and you'd eat it, and the moon beams will shoot out the end of your hair.
Then out of your hair.
And then if you eat all of the umbilical cord or use it, you don't actually consume them. the umbilical cords, you gain enough insight to
Cameron, you sound while you're explaining this quote unquote story, you sound like a schizophrenic. That's what you sound like. You gotta eat the umbilical cords, get the Garmin. The Garmin, man, the moon comes down, man.
And then when the moon entity comes down to embrace you, you can resist it, making you the owner of the hunter's dream.
Tin hats.
And then
the hunter's dream.
And then you fight the moon entity. And once you have defeated the moon, and I keep saying entity, it's Great One, the moon Great One. Once you've slain it, you yourself become an infant Great One, which just looks like a giant slug with tentacles on it.
So it's the giant baby at the end of 2001.
Yeah. Yeah. Guys, we found it.
There's no house sequence. Bum, bum,
and then you become a new Great One, and they use the trophy description to tell you the rest of the story here.
Fucking fuck these people.
Where you become an infant Great One to usher in a new childhood for mankind.
That was explained?
That's actually the text of the trophy.
Oh, that's the text of the trophy.
Yes.
Oh, that's good.
So the trophy has more story than
Schweiss, I want you to tell me what to do. I want you to tell me if I should adjust the story as I experienced it in the actual game, the thing I had to play for this show.
And then there's a lot more as to what was going on and why, but you would consider that lore since you actually have to do a lot of digging. Because in my playthrough, I talked to members of the church. I was able to find out why they were using blood, because it was all healing substance. Then they found out that people started turning into beasts while using blood, and so the church made the hunter faction to go hunt the beasts. But then they retired the hunter's workshop in favor of the choir, who have black hunters, and the hunters of the black, hunters of the white. And then they all banded together, the citizens of Yharnam,
I can't hear anymore.
Kill the beasts. And yeah, it's basically the church versus the school of Bergensworth. Yeah.
What does your character want to do, though? In one sentence.
Your character wants to do whatever the fuck you want to do. You are your character.
Aren't you one of the hunters?
You are a hunter, yes. So, no, you're not one of the original hunters. You come from outside of Yharnam.
What are you hunting?
Into Yharnam. You're looking for pale blood. That's your whole purpose. But in your search of pale blood, you find out what's going on in Yharnam, and then you eventually want to become...
What is going on in Yharnam?
People are working hard to ascend to become great ones themselves.
Yeah, people are turning into lichens, basically. A lot of them.
But by use of the blood, which is actual real blood from the great ones, you're actually putting monster blood into you, which turns you into monsters.
Okay.
And that's why people are turning into monsters.
But why do I want to stop that?
Because you're there to look for pale blood, but then as you investigate what's going on, you learn more, and then you make decisions on your own.
Do I learn anything?
No, not if you're Joe, because someone walks you through it all.
Bullshit, fuck you, Cameron. You didn't get any of this shit either. I don't believe you for a fucking second.
You skip it all. And
I didn't skip shit.
You don't even remember bosses because someone else fought them for you.
I don't remember the name of the boss.
I said the boss with the cage on his head, which is very descriptive of the boss. You had no idea.
When I thought cage, I thought bird cage.
Well, it's like a weird
I thought of it
cage.
as like a helmet.
It's
like a weird fucking square helmet. Or rectangular helmet.
And he gives you a very peculiar
It could very
look.
much be a cage, Cameron, but as you know, while you're going through that thing, you're not spending that much time looking at his, like, features.
I did. I fought him several times on my own.
Around like fuck, and then he's running around in the mist like an asshole.
There's no mist on that level.
That's
what are you talking
not
about?
true. That is not true.
A for Extreme says your character wants to escape the hunt.
Okay. He wants to escape the hunt, but on the way, he finds out more about what's going on and wants to become a great one. Is that right? A for Extreme.
Okay.
Maybe you just do it.
I could have used a cutscene saying that.
That's Mikulash, and that look he gives you.
Oh, okay. That is. That does not look like that in in-game graphics.
Yes, that is a cutscene. That is a cutscene.
Anyway.
Well, see, how did you judge Type Zero's story? Based on what I told you, or what you gleaned from the game?
What I gleaned from the game. But I didn't have to give it a number score.
That's very true. It's good that we didn't.
I said I said it didn't. This is what I said for Type 0. It didn't make any fucking sense. This makes less sense than Type 0 does.
Really? Wow.
Schweiss, the cutscenes are so incredibly cryptic.
Yeah, they're very cryptic.
And it loves the fact that it's cryptic, too. It's like, ooh, our big fans will go and dig, and then we'll fucking jerk off, and, oh, yeah, we'll come when they have to put, like, 60 pages of Wikipedia shit that they've come up by, like, finding little pieces of paper in the game.
A lot of the story for the game can't be had unless you do the extra stuff.
Okay.
But it's a game that's designed around to make you want to do the extra stuff.
Yeah, it's a game based on replaying, not on enjoying a story. So it doesn't actually... And I don't even think... All the shit that you told me was all lore stuff. It was all superficial stuff. There was no emotional pull in there whatsoever.
No, it
which,
wasn't
by
made
the
that
way,
way.
is the purpose of a story, is to take
Well,
you on an emotional journey.
yeah, but,
and there's
like,
fucking nothing there.
If you look at older games like the first Final Fantasy and like the old Legend of Zelda, there's not really anything there either for the character. It's you
there's
exploring.
way more
It's
in
you
those
exploring
games.
the world as that character.
Schweiss, there is 10 times the amount of character development of the main character in Final Fantasy II than there is in this game. Or the bad guy, frankly. And so if I'm going to judge it based on that, I have to be honest. It is the story is not a fucking story. Even if you explain it out, lore is not a story. Like, I'm not going to say, ooh, Final Fantasy XIV has 16 million different things about it that you can go into. That does not a good story make. It's not. It's not a good story. And they don't even try to tell it.
It is not a traditional story. No.
It is not a story. A list of things about the world is not a story, Cameron.
If you have to go find the extra parts of the cutscenes to find out what goes on.
Story has to do with, like, motivation and shit like that.
You
There's
are
nothing
your own
there.
motivation in this game.
That's a doc I have on fucking video game stories, is that they think that works and it doesn't fucking work.
Well, it works for this game because people who play this game fucking love it.
Yeah, I think they love it for the gameplay, Cameron, a lot more than they love it for the story. And if they're saying they love it for the story, they love it because of the lore.
Okay,
They're
makes
not
sense.
loving it because of the story.
Logically, that makes sense.
I guess, yeah, it's not a traditionally told story in the fact
No.
that your character moves forward and he has a goal. It's you are the character. This is like Grand Theft Auto 3 or the thing they used to do where your character's
No, but there's
mute.
interesting characters in Grand Theft Auto, right?
Yeah.
And there's little story arcs as you go through, I'm assuming, at
Yeah.
least within the missions. Yeah, so it's episodic, but there's still story there.
Yeah.
That's a story. It's not
It
a
is.
lore.
I think in this game they kind of took it.
Like, it's Lord of the Rings, but you're just walking around and
Yeah, what if they make a Lord of the Rings game where
it's
it's just
ooh,
like that?
did you know there were 9 wraiths? And, like, that's not a story.
Yeah, I counted
That's
them.
not a story. You gotta take the ring to Mordor. That's the story. And that the 9 wraith guys are in your way. The story is not, oh, did you know that once there was a land of Arnor? That's not story. That's lore. That's other shit. That's not the story. I'm sorry, Cameron. The story, I guess there's one.
You know what? The story is, yeah, like what he said, you want to escape the dream. That's the whole goal. You have to
Okay.
make it to the end. And,
God,
and
that
your
would be nice
purpose,
if that was clear.
And you beating the game the way it did is a completely 100% valid way to end the game. Because you got out of the dream.
Okay, well, it automatically restarted after that. It was like a new
Well,
game plus.
it gets you right into New Game
like,
Plus
nope.
right away. It did the same thing.
Nope.
It did the
Actually,
same
I
thing for me.
I started it for a little bit.
Yeah, just see how easy it was.
It wasn't that easy. It got harder.
It gets harder.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the first couple wearables are super easy, but then it's not a forgiving game. It's not a game once you're like, oh, I'm super level heavy now. I'm going to go back to the early areas. Yeah, you can one hit some characters and stuff, but if you let your guard down and get hit, they can still kill you pretty fast.
I'm seeing things here like setting is part of the story. Yeah, it is part of the story, but it's not actually the story part. When you're telling a story, you don't just talk about the setting and then say, and that's the end. You don't do that.
When I set up a game, when I do a game review, I do the setting first, kind of like
You go, once upon a time, a guy's stuck in a dream.
Yeah.
God, that would be nice if someone fucking said that.
that would be the setting.
So
and then
that's
the story
it?
would be what happens in the dream.
And then there has to be like There has to be something pulling us forward, or else there's nothing to go
The
on.
thing is what Bloodborne tried to do from the sounds
It's
of
just
it
nothing.
has been done much better in a game. Like I think God of War has some things like the story, but it's really light, and a lot of it's based on what you choose to do. You kind of make the game.
Which God of War? One I haven't played, or
The one
I
you
have?
have.
The one I have played, the story is extremely strong. I would actually totally disagree.
No, I
with
know
you on
it's
that.
really strong, but you kind of make it what it is. You can go around and do extra stuff that all has story content built in. You can streamline it and just do the main campaign, and it's all story filled. But the entire experience is like new stories. When you're fighting the Valkyries, you're finding out like what happened with the Valkyries, why they're like evil and they're not doing their job. Like you uncover more story with the extra stuff. So like you get as much story as you want.
I think you uncover more backstory.
Yeah.
I don't know. The single spine is what I'm talking about. This
So you're
game,
talking about the story
this-
arc, the overall arc of
the
the game.
overall thing driving the story forward. The story that you would tell if you were trying to tell someone what happened in a movie that you just watched. If you were doing it well, you would say it's about a kid who goes to Hogwarts and then he has to go get the Sorcerer's Stone. There has to be that. I just told that terribly. But there is an arc in there that is pushing the entire story forward. And the other stuff is window dressing stuff. It's things that enhance the story. So I can get that, like, you can find other shit in the game. Everything that Cameron has listed, it's no fault of Cameron's, the game's fault. Everything that Cameron has told me, with the exception of he has to get out of the dream, which is not clear, by the way.
Yeah.
Everything that Cameron has told me has been window dressing stuff. And if I'm going to be honest, this fucking there's no goddamn story
And
here.
you have to fucking dig for it.
And you have to dig for it. And it's in item description, which I think...
It's in item descriptions. It's in little random letters on the ground. It's in cutscenes you only get if you beat certain bosses. It's, yeah.
I think that that's not good enough. And I'll be honest.
Would you
like,
rather have the arc and then that extra stuff if you decide to go like on a tasting for more? Like, so, and a lot of games do that where you have all the extra stuff where you can dig deep and get the lore.
I'm not
but you
just
still
like,
have the
I
A
think
to B.
Here's what
It
I'm
doesn't
concerned about.
exist.
People are going to hear this, and then they're going to be like, well, I love this thing about this game. I love this thing about it. And it's fine. Whatever. You can fucking love lore all you want. It's the reason I can't fucking... When you got more than 3 terms in a fantasy book in the first page, I'm out. Because it's all about lore at that point. It's all about their world building. It's not about the story and characters at that point. That's all you're there for. That's all I'm there for, is to go on an emotional journey. I'm there for a story. If I'm going to judge a story, then that kind of has to be there. There has to be something there for me to hold on to. And the game didn't even try to do that. It tried to be cryptic and cool, and then give its fans, who I'm sure love all the cryptic weird stuff and shit that you can find and the random extra shit and world building stuff, it gave them something, but it refused to give all of us an emotional journey to go on, unlike God of War, which we reviewed recently, which had a very strong central thing. We're going to go to the highest peak in the land to give out the mother's ashes, and then you get a whole bunch of character development on the way there.
Yeah.
And then twists and turns and all that. But you're there with them. And it's all part of a big overarching thing, and it's all very clear.
I'm not
and
arguing
concise.
against it. Everything that I found out,
and in
I had
that
to dig
game,
for.
and in that game, it's very well done. But I would say it's almost. I would say the sin of this game is almost as bad as Destiny, but Destiny's first cutscene is fantastic and set up a lot of things and set it up quite well and concisely, and it was great. I would say 13 did something similar with data logs, but they don't even give a data log. It's not even like your story thing has been updated. You can go into the menu and look it out. It's not even that. It doesn't even give you that. So I gotta say, like, it would be different if it was like one big central thing pulling the game forward, and then that extra stuff was cool stuff that you can find in the item shit. But if it's everything that you have to find in other weird spots, I mean, it's like playing BioShock, where you find the little recordings everywhere and you learn about the world,
figure
whatever.
out what the fuck happened.
Yeah, but there's a main story of BioShock that's very clear, very good, right in the middle of that game.
That's true. I will say, though, this one is kind of more of a mystery game, and it makes sense to find the clues. And
Well, you
find
don't
the
know what the
hints.
question is,
And it
Schweiss.
was made for a certain type of gamer who likes to go over every inch of the map.
I think I think these are awful storytellers. Storytellers.
Yes.
They're not going to be guys sitting around at a campfire telling you a great story. They're not. I think they're terrible
they're
at
gonna
it.
be like,
They're going to be putting weird symbols in the ground and be like,
where's my fucking marshmallows?
So-
Like, follow the triangles. You're like, fuck. Why you gotta do
No,
this?
he wouldn't even say follow the triangle.
he
there
would
would just be a triangle on the ground.
And you're like,
he'd be
what-
like, "Ooda buda."
Yeah, and then you disappear into the mist.
No. You'll see him drawing a triangle on the ground, and he looks over and sees you and runs off into the mist, and then you just got to go follow the fucking triangles.
Yeah.
So,
Is it an arrow? Is it pointing a certain way?
Think about it though. Isn't it kind of an interesting way to set up a mystery game? Like
There's
you
no
are.
You got to have a central question
that's
very
true.
clear in order for a mystery to happen. Who killed this? What
Well,
is
the
this?
mystery? Is what's going on, and you don't know because the game
And it has
doesn't
to
give you
clearly be a
anything.
question stated at the beginning. If you're telling me that guy is responding to a question that I asked,
Well, I think the thing
I didn't
is,
hear the question.
Because you don't audibly hear the
I
question.
watched that cutscene twice, Cameron, because I restarted the fucking game.
So you never hear your character speak, but people respond to you as if you ask them questions.
Also, I would say you as a person are the one asking
and
the question.
Cameron, I listen to those things. It is not clear.
Pale blood.
I would say the question is from
come to
you
the
as a
right
physical
place.
being. Like,
What
what's
the
going
fuck
on
is
in this
going
game?
on in this
Yeah.
What does he mean
And
by
that's-
pale blood? Am I a pale blood?
And that's
No.
why you find out.
I
by
think
the-
they failed. I honestly think.
I
in
think
the
it's an
story
interesting
department,
idea for a mystery, though. If you think about it, like as a player, as you playing
Why
as
am I
a
here?
no-name version of yourself in this world, trying to find out what happened, it kind of works. Although the one thing that's
This
not
isn't
realistic,
the days of the NES where things are like with the Zelda game.
and the
It's-
thing is you're in a dream, so this is not your. It's not like Final Fantasy X where we get Titus to kind of show us the world. This guy doesn't know the world because it's not the physical realm. He's not from this place.
It's a little bit of both.
Oh well, then he should know some. Then it shouldn't be a giant mystery as to what you're supposed to be doing. But if it was a true dream, you wouldn't have any
Twice.
idea.
I know for a fact you would play this game and be like, I don't know what the fuck happened.
I probably would. Yeah,
That's exactly what you would say.
yeah. There have been games that I'm like, I have no idea. What
I don't
happened.
know what happened. This is not even Type
Game.
0. This is not even Type 0. Type 0 had named characters. There were certain parts that had
Yeah,
things.
Schwartz,
as long as
if
you knew
you,
a deck
if you
of
are,
cards, you were
It tried
good.
so hard in Type 0 to give you all the information.
if you're not actively going up and picking up items and looking
and
at nooks
taking
and crannies,
notes and checking
you're
on Wikipedia.
not going to know what it does, what the
Yeah.
story's
Yeah.
about.
All right, that's fair.
And to me, lore does not equal story. Setting is not everything the story is. I think actually setting is almost the least important part. You can have a great story that takes place in one room, like 12 Angry Men.
Yeah.
And you know what? The fucking setting is they're in a room, like a big blank room, and that's it. So fuck that.
Or Tarantino's first film.
It's almost all in one room, right? So fuck the idea that lore is everything in story. By the way, the person who believes that, who wants to be a writer, you're gonna be a shitty fucking writer. I'm gonna tell you that right now. You're gonna be a shit writer. No one's gonna want to read.
You could
your
probably
shit.
draw really cool maps, though,
You could probably draw some great maps and come up with cool creatures.
and awesome names for villages that no one will ever.
But you're
be
not
able
going to
to
have a
pronounce.
story that someone's going to be emotionally involved in whatsoever. I think this game's story is awful. It does have one, and I guess it does hide it in a different way, so I'll give it some points for that.
Points.
But honestly,
What would you give it for story?
and the voice acting wasn't that great either. So I would give
The old blood.
I would give the story. I give it a 2.
Wow, I was thinking 2 like 20 minutes ago, so I called it from the beginning.
I'll give it a 2. It didn't even try. It didn't.
Again, I
and
think-
then I'm gonna hear shit like, "You didn't even try, dude." It's like
I'm gonna give
Cameron
it-
just talked about it for 25 minutes, and it's like it fucking is just window dressing shit.
I'm going to give it a 6 for story.
You're gonna give it a 6
Because this
Okay.
game is targeted towards people who like doing that stuff. This
I
is
will
a
say-
game that's targeted for people who like to fucking spend hours on the first level finding out everything they can find out about that level.
Well, it's probably
Extra
people who had
areas.
to because they got fucking ass pounded.
Yeah.
And they were like, let's see what's over here. Maybe I could find a Gatling
so,
gun in this corner. And
For-
just
it's not a
fucking
normal.
take this
It's not a
down.
normal store. It's not a normal at all. It's for people who like to dig that shit up. That's what it's for. And you can tell that by the plot.
I would
rate
almost
for the
call
game.
that a gameplay thing.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like
what I was
going and
thinking. Like
looking out
the
and getting
story
lore
is the
shit.
gameplay in this game, is what it kind of sounds like.
Yeah,
I
which
would
is
call
an
that's an accurate
interesting
description.
take, but unfortunately, those are two separate categories.
They have
For new
cutscenes
client.
here. There's no fucking point in having a cutscene if you're not going to tell a story.
Okay.
That's true.
I think it's a waste
You
of
make
fucking time.
as a modern storytelling thing, it's not good.
No, it's not.
No.
This is not a NES era game. It does not get the
But what
opportunity
if-
to say, "Oh,
what
it's
if-
in the manual with it."
What if they wanted it to be that way? What if
That's
they
fine.
wanted it to? That's like they did that because
Well,
they
then
wanted that
a
to
way
be
to
designed.
tell the player that would be like when the game's loading is like,
Make sure you look at item descriptions. That's where the story's going to be
at least a little something, a crumb of something. Doesn't give you anything,
Yeah.
which I know is like.
I guess it's past
But
word of
for
mouth for the
a,
game.
for a story thing, I mean that's ridiculous.
And it can be kind of a slippery slope looking at it from like, well, if I were a person that this game were for, it's like, yeah, but I mean, like, all those teenage movies are for teenagers. That doesn't mean they can't be good when you're not a teenager anymore. Like we all were, and it's hard to like. It's almost like a slippery slope to just be like, well,
How many times are we going to say slippery
I mean,
slope?
if I
we
were,
could say that. Like, you could just say an objectively bad movie like The Room and be like, well, you know, for some people, it's great.
You gotta
it's like,
pause
I'm
it.
not going to give it a good score.
You gotta
just 'cause
pause it.
Some
It's-
people like this.
just because someone's mom dropped them when they
I
were a
was
baby.
intrigued by it. I felt somewhat driven to go find the extra stuff, but I did not have the time, and at times not the willpower to do so.
I thought the story was just downright awful. Just because whatever little bits of story I got was just downright
I love
awful.
how someone in the chat was like, "When are you guys gonna drop the gig and give it like the score, like the real score, and like stop fucking around?" It's like, we wouldn't do that. We wouldn't take. That
I wouldn't
much
give it a
time.
2, and Cameron wouldn't give it a 6 at that point. We would both give it a 1.
Now this game does have insanely high scores everywhere.
It does.
But that's probably
Mostly
because they don't
based
have
upon
story as a
the
separate category. That's
Gameplay.
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 Yeah.
How does this game play?
Which is, I would say, Doom is kind of similar. Doom's story is not that great, but the gameplay is so fucking good that it like, doesn't
Doom's
matter.
story is pretty great.
It does
Yeah,
exist
it
though.
has a story-driven.
Are you talking about original Doom? Or
2016.
2016 Doom has a very clear
story, yeah.
thing you're going to go for, and there's some twists and turns on the way that are pretty cool.
At the beginning,
I would say
you
way
you-
better
yeah,
than
yeah.
this.
I agree that Doom had a very well-defined story.
Very clear, concise,
That's true.
Objective.
It did, but it was almost just fodder.
I'm not saying,
But it works though.
Yeah,
so
you
you
can
give it a pass.
You can
because
set
it
up
works.
something simple.
I guess that's true. It doesn't have to be like a, oh man, that story like blew my mind. Like
doesn't-
when you
yeah.
watch Arrival, you're like,
It's humanity open.
Yeah, not every
Oh my
story has to be
God.
a rival. Some stories can be true lies.
yeah,
Like, that's all right.
it's still fun,
It's still 5 stars.
no matter what anybody says.
By the way, True Lies, 90,000 times the character development and intrigue and emotional stakes
And horse
in this
jumping off
game.
a skyscraper almost.
Yeah, yeah. Fuck that. In that sequence of that movie has more story than this game has in the actual story.
Man, I need
I'm
it.
not going to count item descriptions as story.
Oh yeah, the loading screens.
Yeah, they are the item descriptions.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So you were like joking about if the loading screen would like say, "Hey, look at the items."
No, the first loading screen has to say it. Not all loading screens. I'm not the only person on the planet who looks away when loading screens happen.
No,
Yeah,
no,
that's
and it's always like I get to like halfway done reading an item description and it cuts off, and you're like, oh,
So sorry, story's not good.
all right, gameplay.
That's my professional opinion too. By the way, story
Gameplay.
sucks. Gameplay. All right, this game is famously difficult. I bitched about it plenty on this game, especially the first day of play, because I had to replay that first Yarn
You
Ham
sounded like you wanted to quit.
level
when
over
I
and
tapped
over
you
again.
on
Yeah,
the
it's
stream.
weird that I'm not on the show after
For such a game.
August, whatever. But anyway, it's an action game. Your moves you can't cancel animations, which is real painful.
Yeah.
You get 2 weapons, right?
No, so you can carry 2 weapons at one time. You can carry pistol, and you can carry a.
I said you get 2 weapons,
weapon.
right? And you said no, you get 2.
But there's more than just those 2 weapons. Is what
I know
I'm
there's
getting
more.
at.
Yeah, you could switch shit out, and there's other items, but you look like Fidel Castro today, by the way, Karen.
Yeah.
Just you took off your headphones that were military headphones, and then you got a green cap and a huge beard.
All I'm missing is the cigar. Yeah.
Yeah.
We all need to be some character in something.
Yeah, I wouldn't complain.
Schweiss was looking like Quint the other week when his hair was grown out.
Yeah.
And today, Cameron looks like Fidel Castro. So, go ahead, Fidel.
Yeah.
All right.
What do you feel about the
Senor?
role of the state?
So for the gameplay, it is extremely hard, extremely frustrating. They give you ways to become a stronger character. So through blood
They're-
echoes, the substance you get through
Yeah,
killing things.
they're an itemized version of experience points,
Correct.
but you can lose them if you die.
Correct.
Things can eat them or something.
No,
And,
so what I found out is if you die in an area where enemies normally don't spawn in, you can go pick up your blood echoes off the ground. But if you die in an area where enemies spawn in, they'll pick up your blood echoes. You have to go kill them in order to get them back. Through this game, you take those blood echoes, you go back to the Hunter's Dream, and then the blood doll or the doll will help you channel your blood echoes into gaining experience in any section that you want to gain.
Once you gain
in.
experience, though, those are permanent.
Correct. Those remain.
Oh, okay, so it's not FF11 OG where it's like
There are other things that can be taken
You
away
died,
if you
your shit's
get,
gone.
which I didn't realize for a while. There's a creature called like the head sucker. I don't know what it is. It's like the Resident Evil
The
4
mind
thing.
flayer.
It has its like suck
If
snake
this was
thing
if
over
this,
your head.
this
and
was a
goes
D&D thing, it'd be like a mind flayer. But yeah, does that take insight away from you?
It takes insight away from you, and that's when I at one point
How
I
much
ran away
insight
from
did you
insight.
end the-
So insight is the other expendable thing in this
Correct.
game, and
I never used it.
you can use insight to use the beckoning bell in an in-item game. I think you can get upgrades with it. And probably some other things, but that's basically what I did it for.
I never really used it. So by the end of the game, I had a fuck ton of insight and a fuck ton of items that gave you insight.
You never used the beckoning bell the whole time, huh?
Never, not once.
How many hours do you think you played in this game?
So
I think I did about
does
18.
your save tell you?
Yeah, it does.
I'll go look it up.
I did 18 something.
Does it tell you when you die and come back?
I don't know what it's counting.
I'll go look, but I know it's at least over
Yeah.
20 something hours.
But the thing is that you don't. For this being such a hard game, there are actually no game overs. For
No.
the people who haven't played this, you start at your lamp, which is basically like a save point, and you can go back to the mothership, aka the dream
Hunter's
world,
Dream.
at that place. And you're trying to get through the level, through the boss, into the next area, or do optional areas, which there are a shitload of.
A lot.
I ignored all of them. Did the 6 main areas that you
And
must
there are
go
valuable
through.
items you can find in those areas.
Don't give a shit.
that help you with the rest of the game.
Anyway, so that's kind of the deal. You're starting at that lamp, which is what it is. It's a weird lamp thing that you have to find, and then you basically just like keep restarting that level.
The lamps will count as like save points or spawn location points that
Yeah.
you can find throughout any of the levels.
And your basic thing is every time you start a level, because the game is so difficult and the guys do so much damage compared to you, you have to go through and clear areas of these minion guys, whatever type they are. And you basically have to figure out, you have to memorize each map. You don't just run through to the end boss like Caleb Craig claimed I did. You have to memorize each map in order to like figure out how you get to the next area, in order to figure out what moves you use on each guy as you go along, or what area
And
that
you'll
you
come
have
to
run
find
through.
that the monsters you fight are kind of telltale of
Yeah.
what the boss is going to be.
I didn't know that.
If you're playing through, you got like in the first area, you got a lot of like werewolves type creatures, and the cleric
that's
beast
what
is
you're saying.
werewolf-y,
Okay, I
yeah.
was like, what, the move
And then
set?
no, not move set. But then when you fought the one
that is
reborn,
not my
you got
experience.
those corpse planters going around. You know, the corpses that are planted in like pots, and they're moving around and shooting blood juice at you. You remember those guys?
I remember, the shit getting my health down really quick.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they're super fucking accurate. Those.
I
had
had
a
very
zigzag.
little problem on that level, actually.
Did you have
Except for the boss.
Okay, yeah.
Mikolash was pain.
That level, I pretty much once I was exploring and found out where the boss was, I stopped exploring that level.
Oh yeah, so that's a big thing. So you explore the whole level. You try to find out where the boss is, and you also try to find out where the shortcut to the boss is, because there's always going to be a shortcut from your lamp to the boss that you have to go a long way around in order to open up from the other side or move an elevator or whatever in order to have that area be opened up. And then at that point, once you've done the level 20 times at the least, right? I probably did the Mikolash level the least amount of times. But the Yarnum level, I swear to God, I've seen 80 times. Once you figure that out, you can then kind of figure out how to run straight to the boss, and then the next step will be retrying the boss over and over again until you figure out his moveset, what you have to do to dodge out of the way, the timing and everything, and the move
And you're
pattern.
learning all of this through playing against him several times.
Through restarting, which, as we all know, our favorite thing in video games is to restart things over and over and over again.
Dormammu, I've come to bargain.
So that's a good reference. Which he had to explain to me before the show because he made that reference earlier before we started recording.
Yeah, I was like, what is that? I didn't know
It's
that.
from Doctor Strange, guys.
Yeah. Doctor Strange Love, or how anyway, that is kind of the game, despite what Caleb Craig thinks I was doing, was just like, dude, you skipped past...
So I think he saw you skip it once,
He
and then in
saw
his
me
mind...
play it for 5 seconds.
I know, in his mind, that became how you played the
So,
game.
I-
So what you do is you
And
play,
that's
learn
why
the
we
level.
all say he has
you
feeble
find
mind.
you find stuff, but once you find out where the boss is and you're done grinding, you don't go
don't
into
go
the boss.
through that shit.
You don't want to go fight the boss with a bunch of blood echoes in reserve because you're gonna fucking lose them.
Yes.
You go and run straight to the boss once you find out where he is and you want to progress. That's
Yeah.
what you do.
Thank you, Cameron.
You know
That's
what?
how you play the fucking
I think this
game.
is the perfect time to bring up this theory. So, Jake, when I got Guitar Hero Metallica from him very late last night, he told me he has a theory on Caleb Craig because Caleb Craig recently made his trophies and like his PSN profile private, so you can't see what he's playing and you can't see what trophies he has.
Okay.
And Jake, before that, was looking at his Catherine trophies, and he noticed that he was missing some for beating the game. And Caleb told him that they glitched, and then shortly after that, he made his profile private. So Jake thinks that Caleb Craig actually hasn't been beating some of the games that have been assigned to him and has been lying about it, and we can't give him shit and call him out on it because we can't see his trophies. Now, I, fortunately, have his login information on my PlayStation 4 at this very moment, so I could log in and see if the trophies are actually there. And I've never heard of Catherine trophies glitching, so this might be like a trial that we'd have to run here. A thorough
He would
investigation.
deny it up and down, even if we had definitive proof.
I know he would, but he's giving Joe all this shit for not beating this thing, and Jake gave me all that last night, and I was like, that is about when Caleb hit his stuff, I think.
And once he does beat it, we'll get the time he beat it at.
Yeah. We'll need screenshots, like it's the trust, the layer of trust that we have is
Oh, that's interesting.
being shattered.
Anyway, back to Bloodborne. It's good. It's good when he's not here. We can talk shit about him.
Okay, back to Bloodborne. So you have these bosses, and you find out that they're weak to certain things. Some of them fire works more effectively than others. You just got to find that shit out. You got to fight them. You got to try things and see what works.
Yeah,
certain bosses are weak to like arcane and magic stuff, but that's a whole different level of the game that I did not go through.
I didn't either.
I put all of my stuff into endurance and strength, like fucking
strength,
pure
endurance,
strength.
vitality.
Exactly, that's
Just
the same
over
one
and
I
over
did
again.
too.
Yeah.
And there are a variety of different weapons you
Upgrade
can use.
your weapons.
And I
use the
decided
axe.
to use the Kirkland hammer, which was a fun fucking weapon.
What was it?
It's just a giant hammer that turns into a small sword, which is great. How many times did you level up your axe?
a lot. I don't know.
The max is 10.
I think I went to 9.
Okay, I upgraded
That's a
mine
number
to 10.
I remember.
Because
I don't know.
I know you didn't upgrade yours all the way because it's a silver
Sure, that
trophy.
wasn't like a fucking fortune cookie. The number 9 will be important.
No, there were
today.
some.
Joe's like, I'll keep this in
The
mind.
items that you had to do to level up, they started becoming rarer and different items at a certain point.
So you need to use pieces of
I wasn't
hardened
able to.
blood to upgrade your weapons. It starts out with bloodstone shards, then it turns into chunks, and then it turns into something more. But the last
The
one you
third
need,
level, I had just like a few of those.
and there's only one of it in game without doing extra content, is a bloodstone rock,
Then I
and you
wouldn't have
actually
done
have
it.
to go to an area to get it.
Yeah, that wouldn't.
And
have
I
been
got
me.
it, so I could
think-
have my weapon master.
I remember
trophy.
I was looking at the thing and it was something I didn't have, so that must have been it.
But I needed to do that because I did not have any help through this game at all, and any extra way I could do damage is fucking necessary. So I must have been level 112 when I ended the game. Like
Think so.
I leveled up 112 times. Because through the game you can find things called runes, and you can apply runes to yourself, and some of the runes are really good with grinding out blood echoes. And one rune that I had just said you get more echoes from killing enemies. Another one said you basically double your echoes from doing visceral attacks to enemies. And so one of the last levels, there are a whole bunch of giant pigs on that level, and killing them just gives you an obscene amount of echoes. And I would use that to level up again and again and again, to then be ready to fight these large bosses.
So, as we all know, I didn't beat a boss all by myself ever.
You didn't beat one boss by yourself?
No.
Oh.
I used the in-game item called the Beckoning Bell, which, if you're
You know,
playing online,
in
allows
your
people.
defense, Joe, a lot of the outside of bosses, there's a little note that'll say cooperation
Yeah,
is effective.
It does. There's tons of things telling you to basically get a friend.
Yeah. So in your defense, the game not only says you can do it, but slightly encourages it.
The whole community encourages it.
And that's probably how a lot of people beat this game.
They get, I think they get insight every time they beat a boss
However,
in someone else's world or whatever.
I wanted to go full elite mode on this and do
I
the
know.
whole story
I know.
by myself, including
But I played with
the true
listeners.
ending, including the true ending. Yeah.
But I had fun doing that. That was a good aspect of the game for me. I do believe it scales. There was, of course, the
it does scale a little bit, but
on
then
the
you got
sixth
people who are
try
so
of the
strong.
final boss. One of the dudes
Murgo.
came in.
I hated Murgo. I spent
And,
2 nights on Murgo.
Murgo was the only boss that when I was fighting it by myself, I got closest to killing it.
I found out because for some reason
like
when she went fog mode and started teleporting, her clone in front of you.
Yeah, that was-
I would get to maybe her down to a third health and die every time. But what I found out, what you need to do is just go to the very outside level and run in circles. Don't dodge. It may look like you need to dodge, but don't.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I beat her that first after
All
I found that out.
did
I beat
was
her.
like dodge mash all day long.
No, because dodging slows you down
and it
when
was
you get out of
okay.
your dodge.
She only would hit me like once.
Yeah, but so when I learned that tactic, I beat her my first try.
But we had a
afterwards.
guy come in and he had a weapon that obviously he'd played this game a lot.
What did it
And,
look like? Was it the one with the buzzsaw on the
I
end?
don't fucking know. I don't know what it looked like. I don't know why everything to you is a description of how it looks in this game. Because to me, it's all like, ooh, it's gothy and weird and gross. That's the whole game. So I didn't really pay attention to what it looked like, but he killed in one hit. Literally one hit. And so that was kind of like an anticlimactic thing because you don't restart
Was
bosses.
it Murgo? He one hit.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So technically,
Fuck you.
my last boss.
Fucking spent. Okay, Murgo gave.
You could have used the
no
beckoning bell,
fucking
Cameron.
shit. No. So I played Murgo. So I felt something break in my head fighting Murgo. I felt something snap, and I just had to go take a nap because my head was hurting so bad after fighting Murgo again and again.
Into the properties of the audio thing. Cameron, don't. When I'm talking to Caleb off of the mic, you don't stop and listen in.
Anyways,
Obviously, it's not meant to be
what
heard.
was your hardest boss you fought?
I got pretty hard on. I could not do anything to the guy in the graveyard.
Father Gascon?
The third boss in the game.
Well, he's the second boss. The guy in the graveyard, Father Gascon, with who
I
turns
guess
into.
he is. He is the second boss.
Yeah, he's the second boss.
That guy. I mean, every boss I got,
Technically, the first boss, because
every
Clerk Beast is
boss
optional.
every boss I came to, I'll tell you which one was hardest for me when I tried it by myself.
Okay, yeah, do that.
And it
one
was
first.
that guy.
Was Father Gascon?
That guy, I couldn't.
He was
do
my
anything.
first roadblock that I had to level up a good amount before I could get through him.
I couldn't do fucking anything to him. The guy that was still hard on co-op, and they were all still hard, by the way. The game's not easy.
No.
And oftentimes my teammates would die off, and then I would be trying to hack the guy off by myself, and
Fair.
I'm less skilled than these people. And so usually that didn't work out. It did work out, I think, once. But the hardest boss in the whole fucking game, for me, and for everybody else involved because of how many times we fucking died on this thing, was the water spider boss. I got rid of so many insight points.
Was so
Cameron,
easy for
I
me.
think it was 17 tries.
I think I did him in 3 tries. Seriously, he was that easy.
And it's a long fucking fight. Dude.
Yeah. It still took me like 20 minutes on my third try. It's just because
rough.
I figured out the second fight that you can't just ignore his little spider babies that he sends out. I almost beat him the second time, but I was dive bombed by one of the spiders. But he was super easy. Father Gascon was super hard. Vicar Amelia was fucking hard. Murgo was a pain in the ass, but the hardest boss of all was Gehrman. His fucking scythe.
The guy that I let just kill me.
Yeah, he was the hardest boss of the game by far. The moon entity, if you happen to do the real true ending, the moon entity doesn't even hold a fucking candle to Gehrman. So it's like a letdown. Now the moon entity comes down, and the first time you fight it, if you don't die, you retain the same amount of blood vials you had from your previous fight. So that's a fucking pain in the ass, but.
Is it 2 separate boss fights?
2 separate boss fights.
So you don't have to kill one and then kill the next one?
No, but it's one right after another, but it's 2 separate fights.
Do you have a save in between or not?
No, but once you've beaten one, it saves. So you don't have to fight him again.
Oh, okay. That's what I'm asking. Is
yeah,
if you had
it's
to do that.
It was 2
Like,
separate
that would
fights.
Be awful.
Yeah. I don't know if I would have beaten the game if that was the case.
No, you could have just let him kill you. That was a choice.
No, because once you refuse them, you can't submit.
Oh, you can't? See, that's the part of the game that sucks. Because there was a certain part of the game where I was like, wow, I really wish I could just retry that first guy again, just to see if I could do it.
New Game Plus.
But no, you have to straight up New Game Plus. You can't just
or to start the game over.
You can have someone else do a beckoning bell, so you can ring your bell and go into someone else's game. But that's still not the same. So I didn't I thought that was something that they were missing out on in the game. So yeah, the gameplay mostly it's just hard and it feels chunky because I'm so used to fluid games with the animation canceling.
So things in this game that make it they try to mechanics to make it easy for you.
Bitched at for that. Me whining about the no animation canceling, but I mean, look, it's a modern game concept. That's what we're used to.
It forces you to learn the moves of your opponent and to know when they are open to hit. It forces you to learn. Okay, now I have to hit them, or now I pull back. And how many times do you have to backstep? Because with the dogs, when the dogs come after you, you have to backstep twice and then attack. That's the pattern against just dogs. And you have to learn that for every one of the just normal enemies you fight. I was going to say something about just even if you're super leveled and go back to an early area, you can still get fucked if you're not careful.
Yeah.
I had blood vial runs where I would just know a path to take that would give me the most blood vials in the amount of time it'd take. So, yeah,
that's the gameplay. The lock-on sucks ass.
That's another thing I want to bring up. Okay, that's the thing I want to bring up. So the lock-on is supposed to... It's a game mechanic that makes it easier and harder at the same time.
Yeah, it sucks.
It makes it so you can't fully depend on the lock-on. So you get the lock-on on certain times. Certain times are when you lock on. Certain times is when you don't fucking lock on, or else you're fucked.
Certain times when you lock on,
and you just gotta know. It's like animation canceling. You can't do it. You just gotta know when to do it and when not to do it.
Anyway,
it's a real... And the level design is designed to trap you in areas so you get fucked. It's not like, I know how certain people go, well, we're going to make a level nice and neat so your character doesn't get caught on anything. It's smooth. No. Fucking Bloodborne, they want you to get caught on stuff.
So this is what I thought was good. I thought the exploration of the levels was really cool and interesting.
Yep.
The creatures, I mean, you had to do them like a million times.
Did you
but
ever use
they
any
were
of the beast
pretty,
pellets?
pretty widespread, kind of interesting stuff. A lot of variation in there. Didn't love the no animation canceling thing. It goes against everything I stand for. It's also the reason I can't stand platformers is because of that same reason. Or the original Legend of Zelda. When I see someone play that who can play it, they do this like tapping thing. So when they're on a controller, this is not something I can do. So I see someone when they're on the controller and they're making like directional decisions or whatever, they do these like quick taps, like these quick intuitive tap things with their thumb. And I'm like a hold down the button kind of a guy thing. It's just because I got into the video games late. That's what I figured. It must be that. It must just be I never learned that kind of physical skill. So things were like the little minuscule, and I know that's like kind of part of the game, but the little minuscule things, I didn't really dig that, and I never really got that used to it. I got a little bit used to it. Obviously, I figured out how to get through levels in this game. I did that without the beckoning bell. It's still like it doesn't work. It doesn't work for me. I didn't love the feel of the game. I didn't love it.
Did
And
you
I
use
know
any
that's
items?
like part of the thing for them is that
Wait.
No, dude,
Can you wait
he's
until
gonna come.
after
He's
the
coming.
goddamn
He's
review?
coming. I know he is.
After.
No.
After.
I have to do it. Craig's last trophy for Catherine was November 14th, 2011. None in the last few years.
Is there another platform he could play it on?
Nope. It's only PS3.
Oh, this is interesting.
Maybe he didn't update his trophies to the
I
cloud?
just logged in as his.
Right, but on your system, if you don't go to the
shit.
trophies, you can't update them.
That's a good point. On PS3, it doesn't
So
necessarily.
you have to break into his house, bring the mic with you.
So you actually have to go in and update his trophies to get the trophies from on his PlayStation to the cloud, basically.
I'll do it. I'll go down there.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so I didn't.
Bloodborne.
This game is not very. It's not for an intuitive player, or maybe
No.
it is
Well,
for a
it's-
different type of intuitive player. I guess.
You're saying it's for a intuitive player, but the gameplay is not in of itself intuitive.
No, it's not, and it never got that way for me. Now I only
It
played.
did for me a little bit.
I only played 18 hours of it.
I have to see how many hours I logged in the game.
And eventually, when you redo levels, you get intuitive. But like the actual one thing that always bugged me is like,
What does it tell you how many
figuring
hours you
out
played?
how far away the axe was going to hit on a certain guy was
You
always
learn.
a pain in the ass.
You learn the reach of
and
your
like,
weapon.
certain guys don't even get hit if they're like if they got their shoulder back, they're in this position.
No, sometimes
you can't do anything.
I swear, sometimes even when you know you are doing enough damage to kill someone, sometimes I think it's just like, hey, you know what? Fuck you. He's gonna have 1 health left when you think he's dead, and he's gonna smack you.
There was some weird thing about the 3D space where it just didn't ever line up for me in that way either.
Oh,
like
I learned. I just
with that
just gotta
spider boss.
learn.
With that spider boss, all the little guys, right?
You have
There
to
was-
hit him from behind.
There was something visually with that thing where I could never tell where my axe was going to hit.
Huh.
It's like I thought I was close enough, and then my guy would miss. And like I would do it over and over again. I never improved on that. It just like there's something weird spatially about this game. There's something weird about its controls. I know that like for the people who love this game, like that's the thing about the game is
Yeah.
like figuring out that kind of minuscule thing.
And I
But
had fun
personally-
doing that.
Personally, it wasn't that. It was okay.
And
It was
even with the
okay,
variety of
but
different
I
weapons,
wasn't
each
loving
weapon
it.
has its own things you got to learn about it. Like with the hammer, you have
Yeah,
to
I'm
learn
not
its
going to
reach.
switch weapons. I realized my mistake. I tried a different weapon, and I was like,
You
fuck
you
this.
have to learn that weapon
Because
is what
now
you
I
gotta do.
know my one weapon, and I ain't going to anything else.
And so that's
It
when
sounds-
I started playing with the hammer and how intuitive the hammer was for me. I'm like, okay, I'm fucking
so
all in.
maybe just like
I'm
trying-
fucking all in on this weapon, and it was so beautiful. With the hammer, I could do a charge shot, which would do about 1,000 damage to a guy. I'm straight up 1,000 damage, and then you could do a follow up little swingaroo afterwards that would cap it with another 1,000 damage.
Yeah.
And so the certain stronger minions I was two shotting, and then other guys like the stun the hammer provides, even when you're doing its quick attack, is unbelievable. You're just knocking people back, and they can't react to it because you're knocking them back. Oh man, the hammer. Is the way to
it
go.
sounds kind of like Vagrant Story in a way, where like you switch the weapon and you don't know the timing at all, so you get fucked.
It
when
is.
you-
It
when
is
you
like
swap
that,
The weapon out.
but
it's like
but is way more punishing. Way more punishing than that. And that only has to do with combos. You'll still get the first hit on Vagrant Story.
Yeah, usually.
But the spatial thing, that's something I don't know if anybody else has touched on or
I
if
don't know.
anybody
Maybe
else
just
has
have
had
a
a problem
poor
with it.
depth perception.
I have great depth perception, Cameron. I have great vision.
I mean, maybe hand-eye coordination though. Maybe that's what it is. Because if somebody throws a ball at Joe, he just covers his face. He doesn't try to catch the ball.
That's true. I mean, that's a childhood issue.
Did someone
deep.
fucking dominate your face with a football one time when
My
you were a little
dad
kid?
thinks it's funny to pretend like he's gonna hit me. He never did, but he would pretend to just he would do this thing where he would be he would look like he was about to backhand me, and then he would put his fingers through his hair really slowly. This is my dad doing this, by the way. He'd be
That just seems like a certain
Did you deserve a
personality type.
backhand in those moments?
he just liked to see me flinch.
Oh, so your dad made you not be able to catch
So-
ball.
Your dad is one of those guys.
Well, my dad never tossed a ball with me either, so it's not
Oh, okay.
there wasn't a whole bunch of
My
ball
dad
throwing
never
at
spent time
the
with me.
DeGolier household. That wasn't happening.
That's a good thing.
No,
though.
my dad spent time with me, but we weren't throwing ball. My dad's not a sports guy either, so it's there was just no balls.
I get it. No balls. I guess.
No balls.
That's all right. So maybe it isn't that.
So, I don't know. And I also, like I said, I didn't really get into video games till I was 15. So there are some things that I'm just don't like. Mostly platformers. But this is kind of in that category where it's so specific and so exacting, but at the same time it feels like it's not exacting, at least to me, because I'm so used to games that are just have a little bit more error, you got a little bit of a wider space for error.
Did you ever use any of the special items like the beast pellets?
No, I didn't.
Because if you
Those are shits.
if you consume enough beast pellets,
I didn't
you turn into a beast yourself.
Another thing I didn't like about the game was how the
beast
menus were set up, including how to use secondary items. And I
Okay,
just
yeah.
thought
So it's,
that was an asshole.
It's just a real fuck you moment when you going through the item wheel and you're like, oh, there it is, and you press up and then make blood bullets instead. Yeah, I think that
So-
they did that on purpose.
Yeah, that fuck that menu. Fuck the lock on. Gameplay's okay.
But then the sense of accomplishment
love
that
it,
you get
but
after you
it's okay.
topple this boss that you've had to fight a few times.
No accomplishment. I feel like I wasted my time. That's the difference between me and maybe you, Cameron, or
I
and a
don't
lot of
know.
people who love this game.
They're
like,
there's
I love the challenge and the overcoming.
If
and
I
I'm
could
just
have
I'm just seeing the
spread
clock
this
tick
game
away,
out, if I could
and
spread this game
know
out.
that I am mortal and will die someday.
If I could
And
spread
that's
this
something
game
I don't
out
like.
over time, I would probably feel better about it. But there's certain
But you would
bosses,
get bad at it. You would forget how to play
there's
it.
certain
and then just get
bosses
shitty.
that I fought that I didn't feel a sense of accomplishment of defeating them. I just felt like an empty husk of finally it's done. I can move on. to
Yeah,
the
I don't
next
feel
guy.
any accomplishment. I just feel like shit. So I'm going to give the gameplay, Schweiss,
Yes.
I'm going to give the gameplay a 7.
Nice.
I think it's decent. I think there was fun to be had. I definitely did have fun while I was playing this game. I liked playing with other people. I didn't love, and I know it's the whole concept of this game is restarting levels over and over again. That to me, when they get frustrating, there was one level in this game, the forest, where it was just hard to navigate because of
The
how
frontier.
it looked.
Yeah, the Lost
and
Forest, yeah.
a certain part where
I got
it's-
lost in there once.
It's no longer fun and challenging in a fun way. It's just an asshole. And that to me is why am I playing a game?
Yeah, I'm going to give the gameplay
I thought it was all right. 7.
I'm going to give it an 8. I quite enjoyed it, and this is the accomplishment. I'm not giving it higher because I'm going to be honest, there are points in this game playing it that I would have probably put it down for a couple of weeks and not returned to it for a bit.
If you didn't have to beat it in about an hour.
Yeah.
There were times where I was just like, I need a solid break from this game. I need to sleep. I need to just do something that's not this. I need to do something that's not this game for a good long while and come back refreshed and exuberant and ready to fight this fucking boss again. Because right now I felt something snap in my head, and I don't like that.
I should go to work. I should probably
Yeah.
see people.
Well, that's what when I get stuck on a boss with Vagrant Story, which
What's
by
the-
the way, that final boss of Vagrant Story harder than anything I ever played in Bloodborne. Not that it's harder than everything in Bloodborne. I'm not saying that. I'm saying my experience, the final boss of Vagrant Story was the biggest asshole I've ever run across in any game, and I was happy that Bloodborne was not that bad.
Okay.
But when I get into a mode like that with Vagrant Story, there's me beating the boss is not going to make me feel better. It's not. It's not going to be like a fun thing. I know people in the chat were saying that before. Like, don't you love the sense of accomplishment? Isn't that the whole point?
I mean, it's good. I mean, like I said, there were certain bosses
no.
I felt that way, especially with like the vacuum spider and Mikolash when I came in and I destroyed them. I knew they were hard boss. They were hard, but I was on fucking point with the dodges, with the attacks and whatnot. I was one with my hammer. That was a sense of accomplishment. When I have to fucking try to fight...
The best part of this game is like the adrenaline you get, and you're like...
there's a point where the adrenaline's pumping and you got it, you know it's good. Yeah. But then there's a point when you're fighting
the 30-second time
when
around,
you're fighting Gehrman for
like
your 15th time,
3 times.
and you get him down to that last teeny bit of health, and he just fucking somehow fucking clips you, and
like you clipped the mixer right now. Go ahead.
He fucking clips you, and you're just a little fucking dead inside at that moment because you know you have to do it all over again. And by the time you finally beat him, there's no sense of accomplishment. Yeah. It's just like you're like
it's just like a dead zone.
Yeah, it's no longer exciting. It's a downer at that point.
And the beautiful thing about the God of War Final Valkyrie fight is that it was that same way. I got that fucking bitch down to nothing, and she
You're
just
like,
went.
It wasn't even worth it.
She went nuts. It felt that way, and then he ripped her wings off, and I was like, yeah, it's worth it.
See that way it gives you a visual representation of what you want to do that fucking boss.
Yeah,
this game doesn't do that.
Give me your wings.
Beat it, and it goes.
It doesn't even give you a cool cutscene.
It is.
Oh, really?
It just disappears. It just
It'll
disappears.
give you a lame cutscene.
You don't get to like fuck it hardcore. At the
no,
end.
there's no fucking
nothing like that.
Evisceration at the end that you deserve.
There's nothing satisfying in this game.
Wow, that's crazy. It just dies.
Yeah,
I know.
And it disappears.
I know people love it. People think the gameplay is perfect. I don't think it's perfect.
I give it an 8. So yeah.
I think it's good. But I don't think it's great.
Okay,
let's talk about the art design.
Greasy and dark is what I can tell. It's one of those games that looks.
I'm gonna let you go ahead and start on the art design, and then I'll finish.
It's one of those games that looks lubed to me.
It doesn't look lubed. It looks gritty to me.
Lube
it looks
City.
like they were at the MTV or the Nickelodeon Awards or whatever the fuck, where they slime the celebrities.
Okay,
that's everything in this game. They've
is
slimed
shiny.
everything, and I don't know what it is. I've never seen that in a game before. Have you? Where everything?
I don't know where you're getting this lube thing from.
Look, it's all shiny.
Everything looks really shiny in Bloodborne to me.
You don't notice
the
that? There's no
like
realistic, or even like game-ish realistic textures. Like the textures are all like they're wet.
Yeah,
but it's not just like the streets. It's like people's faces.
They're.
I think it looks like shit.
Modern Warfare 2 does that, where everything looks
so
covered in lube.
level design is great.
Level design's great.
I love the gothic
part
style.
Oh yeah, your level art design.
Yeah, level art design. Are we on art?
Yeah, we are on art.
Okay, yeah.
I would say, I would agree with that for the most part.
Looks like a graveyard.
I think boss designs are great. Yeah, everything is a fucking graveyard.
Boss designs are pretty cool.
Yeah, like the different areas you go to are very distinct. The enemy types there are very different.
Character faces
certain
in the
enemies
cutscene look
are
fucking weird. They're all weird and shiny.
I keep thinking of Mikolash and that fucking grin he gives you.
And then like the sheen from his sweaty face as well. That's a big part of it.
Does he have
you're
a
not
little
seeing.
cage around his dick too? He's got that little smile.
No, but you were talking about having one yourself, so
yeah.
Yeah, so I fucking moving on.
I don't even know. Man.
Last week, remember he was talking about having a chastity belt.
Oh yeah, to keep me on the games. Yeah.
So, anyways, I love the level design. It's dark and depressing. Always, you're always just a little depressed going through the game. Always feeling like, but see, they want you to feel like you are a super hunter. The way they've designed the gameplay and the way you're going out, you have to be aggressive and you have to be on the attack to the point if you get hit and lose health, you can regain it by attacking. So everything's focused on you moving in quickly and trying to finish them off real fast. That's gameplay. But anyways, I felt the level design itself was overall depressing. And I guess it's just I'm not used to playing this type of game.
This is what I liked about it. I liked the gothic thing with man-made structures.
Yeah.
I thought, the level design was
and
really
the
cool.
way the
I would
map
almost say that
like loops in on itself and all the cool secret
I would
areas
say
of the map. And
that's definitely more of a gameplay thing. But the way that it looks, I think is pretty
that's level design.
Pretty good. Creatures, some of them are pretty cool. Some of them look like they came from a different era.
Some
of
of
gameplay,
them are
games.
actual blobs that you fight in the school of.
I don't think the wolves really look that good. I think their fur is ridiculous. I think people's
the floating tufts
skin
of fur.
texture, which is what we're talking about with the shiny lube thing.
Yeah.
I think that looks fucking weird and gross, and I don't know who thought that was a good idea. The bosses,
turning into beasts.
The bosses are cool and unique. I'll give them that. I do think that the forest design was the worst thing I've ever come across in a long time. I honestly could not tell one area from
maybe
another
that's
in that
the point of the
game.
area. Maybe that's part of why that level's
sewer
hard.
level in most every game.
And eventually someone had to tell me, if you follow the lights. But I got to tell you,
follow the lights.
It was. I just thought that level, like the lighting in it and everything, I thought that was terrible. But the other levels were great. I'll give art and graphics. I would give those. I think I'll give it a 7 out of 10. I don't think it's quite PS4 quality. I don't think it's quite up there yet. And there are weird things about it, but there are cool things about it as well. So it definitely looks better than Armored Core.
Yeah,
which is another game from this terrible company. Go ahead.
Okay.
They're terrible because they made Armored Core.
like the people you come across that are not yet monsters. I like the way they look.
Oh, okay. Sorry, real quick. The A for Extreme in the chat says all the villagers look like that spider guy from the future part of Muppet Christmas Carol, and they kind of do with the hat.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
If I'm thinking of the right person.
So, what'd you give it?
He gave it a 7.
I gave it a 7. I thought it looked all right.
I was going to give it an 8 again, honest. So
really,
yeah.
You thought it looked okay?
I think it's a very distinctive looking game, and
okay,
enjoyed it.
Okay, music and sound.
I
Does this
don't
game have
quite
music?
remember
I don't
very
remember.
much music in the game.
It has music.
Okay.
It does.
It does. It's not that memorable.
I thought the voice acting was fine, but there just wasn't a lot of it.
I thought the voice acting was awful. Honestly, I thought it was terrible.
I thought it was fine.
I thought it was like Fable 1 voice cast, but
No,
it's supposed to
not
be
even.
It's supposed to be a serious game.
No, it's not even that bad.
I don't think the voices were that great. Like really over the top. I just didn't enjoy that. I guess it was mixed okay. Weapon sounds are fine. It played the exact. Every single boss had the same boss music every single time, and that's really like
we are born by the blood.
only music in the game
Made
that kind of
men
like
by the
throws it
blood.
at you. But because it's so
Undone by the
Shut
blood.
up. Because it's so repetitive, and like there's if it had a different boss music every time, it would be cool, but it didn't.
No, it was pretty much the same.
And you do have to do it over and over again. Didn't love that fact. So the sound is fine. There's just not enough of it. Doesn't really fill out for
dear
me.
Hunter.
See,
I could have done all.
yeah, you could have. You could have probably done a better job than
Is
that.
it worse than Armored Core's voice acting?
No,
No.
no, it's not.
I was like, shit was pretty bad.
No. I thought it was.
So I personally probably give music, and so certain beast sounds as you're walking around are distinctive, let you kind of know what beasts are there. Shit, I think I'm still gonna give it a 7 for sound and.
I was
music.
gonna give it a 7 too. I got 7s all around right now, except for story.
I mean,
yeah. 7's all around.
7's
except for that
fine.
thing
I
that's
thought it was
5 digits
I
below.
thought it was fine. It's not. Yeah. So far, I mean, if we're talking about story,
foul beast.
gameplay, I thought was
You're cursed.
fine, and that's kind of the big part of the game. But the art and the music, neither of those to me stood out, and I think the story's fucking terrible.
We're cursed.
They were fine though. They were just fine.
Yeah.
Like fine middle grade kind of, middle of the road kind of PS3 PS4 kind of stuff. It'd be really good if it was PS3.
Yeah.
Replayability.
So, for me personally, I would put the replayability at 9.
9 out of 10.
Yes, because this is still a game that I feel the urge to platinum.
Feel the urge.
Yeah, I wanna go. I got a chalice, and I want to go down to the chalice dungeons.
Foul beast.
I want to learn how to use
That's right.
the magic in this game. Yeah. So for me, I'm going to give it a 9 for replayability.
Foul beast. That was the thing I was making fun of all the time.
Yeah,
dude. It's really repetitive. It's fucking repetitive. The whole game is repetitive. But okay. Replayability.
And I'm going to do this
Sometimes-
stuff with ringing the bell. When I'm replaying it, I will fucking ring-a-ding-a-ding
Ring
that
my
bell.
ring my bell. Which I sang every time I ring that bell in that game. You're welcome, Twitch audience.
For whom the bell tolls.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. I've heard that song way more than Ring My Bell.
I would hope so.
It's totally better, clitoris. Anyway, replayability. You're welcome. You're never going to hear that song the same way again. Replayability is very... There's a lot of stuff that you can do in this game. There's a lot of new areas to explore.
Oh, yes.
There's apparently a lot of fucking shit you can pick up and learn more about the lore of the game and
the
call
variety-
it story when you're yelling at Joe.
And the variety of weapons you can use.
So you can get different weapons as you go through. You cannot replay bosses in the regular game, so that's the only way to kind of do it, is to do that, or to use the bell in order to go
No,
and
you could.
explore some
Once
more.
you're in New Game Plus, you play them all. Get all the bosses,
Well,
everything.
yeah, I know that. And then, there's a lot of stuff there. And there's whole like chalice dungeons and shit like that, which I never explored in the original game. I will say that my score is usually based upon whether or not I will ever play the game again. The thing is, I did immediately after the game was done started a New Game Plus, so technically I did play it again. So, but I'm not going to give it 100% because I probably will never play it again from this point on. Although part of me wants to go back and just try that first boss, see if I can fell him.
Yeah, no. Let's say one of us rings the bell and rings the other one, and we go do the first boss.
Can't do that. Game's gone.
Oh.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Sorry. I got that GameFly for 1 month
I also
free
wanted.
trial.
I also wanted a 1v1 you.
I
I wanted to ring you in and
I know
we
you
fight.
did. I know you. That was an interesting part of the game we didn't talk about. You can get some people that are
Okay,
fucking
there's
assholes.
this one level. There's this one level where it's the part before you meet Murgo. There's one of the bell ringing ladies, and she rings a sinister bell, and it rings someone in, and it rings as you're playing the game, trying to go through the story. It'll ring in a random person into your game to fight you. And one person was a fucking asshole. One person started attacking me, and I started fighting him back. He backed off and waved at me, healed up, and then killed me. And then the third person, he saw I was trying to make it back to the lantern, and he waved at me and just disconnected. I'm like, oh, hey, thank you. That guy, he's the number one guy. That guy's great.
So there's a lot of things to do in a replay. I did technically replay it again. And even like considering the thought of replaying it again, which is crazy because I was so frustrated so many times in this game.
Yeah.
And you can hear more about that if you listen to the beginning 15 minutes of every Nude Clan episode leading up to this. I will give it the generous 9 out of 10.
Wow.
For replayability.
If I were to get you a copy of this game.
There's a ton of shit to do in replay.
Yeah.
Just a ton
There's
of shit.
also one DLC that I know of.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, there is a DLC.
Yeah.
And I know a guy who got like some super weapon. Although I think he must have got it from something else because he was able to play with us with it. Anyway, I want to thank the people who helped me get this game beaten. Here's what I think about Bloodborne, and I guess
I
we
want
can
to thank
just...
Joe for giving me the fucking nerve to beat it myself.
No,
So I don't want to be
you're
a little
welcome.
bitch.
You're welcome. This is what I want to say.
Thanks for being a bitch for camera.
Yeah.
This is my my overall opinion of Bloodborne. I know that a lot of people fucking love it. I know it has gotten, not just from me, some heat for being like ridiculously too hard of a game. Some people do give it bad reviews.
And
based on
some
that.
people actually say it's not the hardest That's not the hardest Dark Souls type
It's supposed to
game.
be the second easiest one,
Yeah.
apparently.
Okay.
So it's sick.
I'll never be able to get a full sentence out with Cameron on ADD mode right now.
Nope.
I'm just trying to let
I
you
know.
know, correct
I know
you.
you're trying to be a cooperative co-host. I appreciate that. Which is not your usual move. I'll be honest. Did you take cocaine before you
No,
got here? today?
I played the fucking game and actually care about it. So.
Oh, okay. You actually okay. Then I'll finish up and then you can go. I don't think it's a great game. I think it's a good game with a lot of good stuff about it. I don't think, however, that it deserves like perfect scores like a lot of the diehards seem to want me to give it. I just don't. I just don't think it's a perfect game, even in the gameplay aspect. I don't think it is. I think it's just a little bit too... The From Software people know how to make a clunker in some ways. Just a little bit clunky for me. And some people will say that's me being clunky. I say
It's you being clunky.
I don't think it's 100% me being clunky.
So they're a little bit anal, like with their control schemes.
Dude, there
overall,
are
you
some random things that have happened that I just like. It didn't make any sense. I would like fight one guy 12 times, like over and over again on this thing, like get perfect at him, and then one time, like the timing would be exactly the same, and then he'd do something different, and like it would react a different way, or my weapon would miss, or something.
So Murga, the wet nurse, would do it. She has this move, and she'll either do an uppercut twice or 3 times, and it's up to you to decide if she's going to do it that 3rd time. And if you fuck that up, you are fucked up.
So there's only 2 reasons to play a game, in my opinion. Rarely is it story, but sometimes it can be story, like a really good story, like Metal Gear Solid 3, I would say, is a really good story. And then another reason is because it's so fucking fun that it doesn't fucking matter, right? And there's tons of games you can name with that. I mean, it's a game. That's what it's supposed to be, is a fun game. This game is a dick on purpose. There's a little bit of fun factor in there, but it's mostly frustration. And I don't think that fun factor is enough to make it a perfect game. I think it's an okay game. I think it's good. But I don't think it's anywhere near great, personally.
I think this is a great game to some people.
Well, yeah, we know that.
And I'm one of those people.
Really?
Yes.
You only gave it an 8 out of 10 on gameplay.
Right. I mean, that to me is still a good game. And it's a game that I am
You said
compelled to
great.
keep playing.
You said great.
Yeah, but I didn't say it was excellent, did I?
Whoa. Okay, we're going into more.
Are you trying to make America
there's
good,
there's
great, or
good,
excellent again?
Great, excellent, supreme.
Yeah. And then
No.
platinum.
I
When
quite
someone
enjoyed
says
this game.
great, I'm thinking like great with a capital G, like
You know,
put this in the game Hall of Fame.
So
or
when you're
whatever.
eating someone's food, you say, "Wow, this is real great," because my mom would always.
No,
be
I
annoyed
say
when
this is
that.
good. And if it's great, I say it's great. I don't say
Some people are
I
disappointed
don't say
by
great
the good
and then
or
I
great.
say excellent.
No, but I feel
later
like
when
this.
it's
Like,
better.
I feel like 8 is the gameplay it deserves because there are certain things. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm not just good enough at the game. But when I'm playing
No, but
the game,
your
and I
experience was an
feel
8 out of
and
10
I feel
experience,
like
so
I'm
whatever.
playing really
Fuck 'em.
well, and it still fucks me. And then. But this is not. It's not going to deter me from playing this game. I still think it's a great game. And if you like extremely hard games and you like that sense of accomplishment you get from beating hard things that other people can't, then yeah, pick up this game. But if you are more looking for a story-driven game, if you're looking for
a game that's only fun,
a fun game that without any sort of grind, then no, I wouldn't suggest this.
I
game.
wouldn't even say that, Cameron. There's games with a lot of grind that are way less grinded than this thing. So this is grind to the extreme, I would say. And it is by design that it's that way.
Yeah.
And it's mostly to appeal to their elitist fan base, which I have no respect for. So I gotta say, I just think it's okay.
Yeah.
But Cameron says it's great, but
It's
not
great.
excellent.
They're not excellent.
Which I didn't even know there was like a difference.
God of
between
War
those
was
two things.
excellent.
Okay.
If you want a bar for excellent, God of War.
All right. See, Doom is the other one I gave all 10s to. I would say Doom.
My,
is also an
in
excellent
my
game.
memory, Doom is an excellent game.
And in my memory, and never did it for the show, but Metal Gear Solid 3,
I've never played that.
I would have at the time given 10s all around. So I mean, there are those to me are great games. This to me is like it's an okay game. The stories, especially if it had a good story, I might have felt better about the game overall. But I think the story is a piece of shit. So anyway,
Yeah,
what are our
so-
scores?
All right, so to recap, Bloodborne's Nude Clan review. Story, Joe gave it a 2, Cameron gave it a 6. Gameplay, Joe gave it a 7, Cameron gave it an 8. Art and graphics, Joe gave it a 7, Cameron gave it an 8. Music and sound, 7s all around. Replayability, 9s all around. Joe's score is 32 out of 50, Cameron's is 43 out of 50, for a total of 79 out of 100 for Bloodborne.
Okay.
Joe would have given it a 64, and Cameron would have given it an 86 if we did solo reviews, but that would be hell on earth, so we don't do that.
Did we look at Metacritic?
We have to wait till next year for that.
We're looking at it right now, aren't we?
Yeah, I'm going to pull it up now and see what Metacritic has this game listed as. I'm going to guess 91. 92.
92.
Out of 100 for Bloodborne.
Are we 10?
So-
We're 12 short?
Yeah.
Or no, we were 79, so we're 13 short.
Yeah, 13. So one of the surprisingly...
I mean, this did come out in 2015, so maybe just like 3 years of aging. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. There are things that people... I mean, there are movies that people were wrong about at the time that they came out. There are probably games people were wrong
Well,
about.
this is
when they
only
came out.
3 years, so I don't know if it's
if it's quite time for that.
It's quite time for that yet.
Well, let's see. Well, what's the worst review they got here?
9.
A 9. Yeah, 90% was there. Okay,
I'm
so
sorry, guys. It's like it wasn't a 9 game for me. It wasn't a 10 game. I mean, I think people might have thought I was going to give it like 1s all around to be like a revenge tale of how I hate Caleb Craig, but no, it was all right.
Yeah,
it was all right. I had fun in certain parts of the game.
And if that
I had
multiplayer
fun
part
playing
was
with
fun,
multiplayer.
if that was the fun part for
Yeah.
you, then that's a valid experience of the game that it gave you. So that's a part of the game I did not get to experience.
I might have given the gameplay an 8 had that forest level never existed. I thought that level was a piece of shit.
I got lost there a few times. Yeah.
It's 'cause it's awful. It's not because it's interesting and cool puzzle. It's because it's an awful level.
If you go to that forest frontier
I
part of the
know.
level, you can actually make your way back to Yarnum and then get into the back way of the clinic. So that Isofka blocks off to you. You can actually go in the back way and find her.
Yeah, I know where the bonus shit was at. I just didn't. I chose.
You knew where it was at?
Someone told me to
Oh.
go that way, and I said no.
Yeah, it's always fun when somebody tells us to do something optional, and Joe's like,
Nah.
"No, we're not."
It's because I'm my own man.
Man?
Look, I can't just be a Caleb Craig and just cater always. Just always I'll get like a half a text, misunderstand it completely, and be like, "We have to change the show around, dude. This guy didn't like this sentence." You can't do that because
That's
otherwise,
true, yeah.
then it's not and anymore.
Nope,
it's
it's what
then
everyone wants,
a
which is-
catering thing, and it becomes the fucking Marvel movies and just bland. And Nude Clan is anything but bland. I hope anyway. So that is our Bloodborne review. Thank you guys for joining us on the episode this week. Hope you didn't mind us shitting on Caleb Craig too much. Don't fucking text me about Bloodborne. I don't want to see your fucking Bloodborne tweets. I just don't.
You should do it anyways.
No, you shouldn't.
It's a free world.
Especially if it's a I'm
free
going to
country.
defend Bloodborne.
It's not a free world.
I'm going to defend Bloodborne from this fiend. Don't fucking tweet me that shit. I know you feel that way. I already got those tweets before this review happened. Because people were like, nah, the story, dude. Lore is story. Story is
Free world
lore.
isn't free. Space Force.
So. Space Force.
Anyone who wanted to play with me, just tweet me and we'll probably play Bloodborne at the same time as I do by using the bell. Let's go do a Chalice dungeon or two. I will be open to that.
Okay, cool. You tweet me at Joseph Gillier.
Me at Nude Clan Cam.
Me at UFF Podcast.
And the show at Nude Clan Podcast. We're at nudeclan.net, yada, yada, yada. Guys, we are going to do Nude Clan After Dark next, and that'll be out in the middle of the week sometime. If you want to get some advice or just to ask a question, and we got a cool new jingle from a listener, by the way. The phone number for that show is 385-204-3921. That's 385-204-3921. If you're watching the Twitch stream right now, now's a good time to call. Anyways, I think that is going to be it. Let us get the fuck out of here.
That sounds good.
See you next week.
May the list go on.
Live always in the nude.
Fuck. Aww.
Game over, man. Game over. What the fuck are we gonna do now? Too bad you will die.
Winning is not to blame.